Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings 2026, where we talk film and TV with oldies in the mix. We chat all things actors from Mel Gibson to Ice Cube, cause at the Outcast Creative we got the coolest panel on YouTube. Every Tuesday evening we start at 9 UK time. We cover all the genres from sci-fi to true crime. Our super cool panel rates the latest releases along with all the cool films like The Wild Geese.
So you helped Rick subdue those hippie intruders, huh?
Something like that.
You say that like there's more to it.
I don't possess many talents, but I know better than getting away with a good story.
Think you're real funny, huh?
I'm a little funny.
The Adventures of Cliff Booth. The trailer just dropped today. That is, for those of you who are uninitiated, one of the characters from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The Brad Pitt character from Quentin Tarantino's, some would say, controversial film. I happen to think it's one of the most amazing films ever made. I am a bit of a Tarantino fan. I do look like him after all. Let me bring in the rest of my panel. We're going to be discussing that trailer among many other things this evening. The King of Spiders is here. But apparently we can't see him unless I do that. There we go. Hello.
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 You good?
Yeah, we are good. I just need to sort the layout out. There we go. That's better. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I've just finished streaming watch along with the 1958 The Blob, Steve McQueen one.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Now I'm going to zoom in on your head. You do you have a spider on your head today?
I do not have a spider on my head at the moment.
Okay. Just checking, because it was a very important detail that I missed last time we were streaming together. Also, the Queen of Rohan is in the house. Anna's here. You need to sit up a bit though, because the graphic is high. There you go. Fantastic. That's better. How are you?
Evening. I'm doing good. Sorry, was on a run, so I'm still in running clothes.
You've got slightly a lower pixelation rate today for some reason. I don't know why, but
do I?
Is the weather? Huh. Is the weather still foreboding there?
It's still, we're surrounded by towers of ice on every side.
that could be the reason. That could be the reason. Yeah, quite possibly. So, no problem. Now, I don't know where the rest of my panel are, but at the minute they don't appear to be here. So we're just going to push on. I know, absolutely outrageous. I know Enzo streamed until a ridiculous hour of the day. He was on until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Bearing in mind he's 6 hours behind us. He was on until 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time on Monday.
That's crazy. He's like Mauler, but less Welsh.
Yeah, I mean, he may well be feeling slightly knackardo, which is completely understandable. Inside Man, I'm not sure about. But everybody has been sent the link, so maybe other people will join us as we go on.
And
a few of our regulars.
I'll have to leave a little early tonight because I'll be going to see Iron Lung with some people, and so I'll report back on what our experience is like.
Yeah, I'm seeing tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Okay. What time do you have to leave from now, just so I can be aware?
About an hour and a half from now, because I need to take a shower and such. All
right, so we've got you until about 10:30. All right, okay. We've got regulars in the chat. Aaron's here. Snorter Poopus is here. Keith is here. And yes, Snorter Poopus has indeed escaped again. Terrible. Fantastic. Well, seeing as we started with that trailer, and I thought I'd show it because I was guessing that you guys might not have seen it. Is that something that's getting you excited at all? Were either of you?
I know it's not Quentin Tarantino's doing it, but yeah, it should be good. Look forward to it.
But it's got, I believe it's got his blessing though.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I came out of seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is one of the last films I actually went to see with my ex. And I'm glad we saw it together because we both agreed it was fantastic, and I still think it's a work of genius. I remember turning to her and saying, I could quite happily watch 4 more films about those two guys, one set in every decade or whatever. And it's as if someone's granted my wish, because indeed we are going to have the further adventures of Cliff Booth. Whether Leonardo DiCaprio will be making a cameo appearance in it or not, I don't know. I suspect probably not, knowing fees and things of that nature. But I have to say, my impression from the trailer is quite positive, because the tone of it feels right. Brad Pitt wouldn't have signed on unless the script was good. I mean, looking forward to it or not probably depends on whether you enjoyed the original movie. But I did. I loved the original movie. So yeah. Anna, did you enjoy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I did, although I've only seen it the once. But Brad Pitt, especially in his later years, he's just had such a fabulous career as a character actor, and I love seeing what he immerses himself in. I thought he did, I guess the most recent thing I saw him in was F1, and I thought he did a really good job with that, even if it was a little bit, that was a bit of a paint by the numbers role. And I always liked Timothy Olyphant, and I'd be really excited to see the two of them together just bouncing off. I hadn't, until you mentioned this, I hadn't heard about this Cliff Booth film at all. So it's later this year.
It's I believe it's a TV series.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I believe.
I thought it was a film. I've got to say.
No, maybe I'm wrong. Let's just have a quick look on the IMDb.
I've got here that it's an upcoming comedy drama film.
You know what? You're right. It is, because it's David Fincher.
It is scheduled. It's one of those that's going to be select theaters and Netflix, so it's a sort of a semi-streaming.
Oh, I'm definitely going to see this at the cinema. No question. Tarantino's written it. Fincher's directing it, so it's in good hands. I'm assuming the elephant is playing the same character he did in the original movie, because they want to keep it within lore, I would think. So, I look forward to seeing it. Welcome, Toxic.
Hey, how are you? How's everybody today?
Oh, wow, you're on a super clear crystal mic today. Very nice.
Oh, am I not usually?
No, it's just that today it sounds profoundly clear, and it's like you're in a recording booth or something. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm not sure you and I have ever had a conversation about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Was that film you enjoyed it? It very much was Marmite. People seem to either like it or they didn't.
Yeah, I'm kind of two minds about it. I saw it during the lockdown, and you know me, you know that I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I think I can't think of a bad Tarantino outing. Even his weaker stuff tends to be so far and above what everybody else does. And I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, I was into Tarantino way before anybody else discovered him. I was passing around the VHS tape of Reservoir Dogs. So I'm of two minds about this, and I'm of two minds about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. On the one hand, it's one of his weaker outings as a whole, but it has these little moments and vignettes like within the film that are startlingly amazing. They're so great. The Bruce Lee fight scene, when he's high and taking on the fantasy scene of rewriting history, and him taking on the Manson groupies, and the fact that all of those weirdos all wound up to these huge careers. The stuff with Al Pacino as the shady producer, and then the stuff with Leo's character struggling, a great actor struggling to be a mid actor, struggling to be a great actor, was really, really good. So it has these moments in it that are just really great. As a whole, the movie doesn't really work for me. It's not a rewatchable, but the scenes that I love, I've rewatched many, many times. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. it's interesting. I mean, listen, I love it more every time I rewatch it, and I found with the films that I considered his weaker films back in the day, when I rewatch them now, I find I'm liking them even more as well, because I can appreciate more what's going on with them. Whereas we were sort of still getting to know what Tarantino was all about by films kind of 3 and 4, you know. But I love the world that he created, and I just love everything about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'm quite happy to spend as much company in the character of Cliff Booth or DiCaprio's character, if we get to see him in another sequel, as Tarantino and associated filmmakers want to give us. So I'm quite excited about this. We'll see. It will, you know,
One thing about Brad Pitt, I grew up in the era of young Brad Pitt, right? I grew up in the, you know, the young cinephile Toxic was in high school listening to all the girls gush about this hunk from Thelma and Louise, and, you know,
True Romance he was in as well, wasn't he? He was in True Romance as well.
He had a cameo in True Romance too.
Was his debut, I think.
But so I grew up during that era of like Brad Pitt. Like he was so iconic as like a thirst trap, as the kids say, that, you know, the TV show My So-Called Life, like there's a girl that like has throwback sex with her boyfriend, and she's like, why would you do that? And it's like, well, we rented this film. What, a porno? No, a Brad Pitt film. And the other girl says, say no more. Of course you did. So like that, like he was so iconic in the 90s. But the thing about him is he's actually a really good actor, and he always has been. He's always been a great actor. There's never been a bad Brad Pitt performance. He's not only this really good looking guy, he's this amazing actor. He's almost like a leading man character actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no, great.
Yeah. So,
and there's very few people that can say that they have that accolade. A leading man character actor is probably the best compliment you could ever pay any actor. That they straddle that bridge. They can carry a film. But if you said to Brad Pitt, I need you to play an overweight army general who's seen 40 years of war, and you're going to do 2 scenes, but they're key scenes, and I need you to hold the audience for 5 minutes each per scene in those scenes, you know he's going to completely be up to that task.
Yeah.
It's like he's turning into the elder statesman actor of Hollywood.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, he's very much a kind of, I mean, obviously, because Marlon Brando kind of, you know, in his later years sort of became a bit removed from society and went a certain direction. Brad Pitt has the charisma of Marlon Brando in his prime now, and still has it, you know. So he's
kept himself in incredible shape. And I'm not saying this from what Tox just said about thirst traps. I'm just saying this from an admiration point of view, that someone can be in that good of shape in their 50s. He looks fantastic.
You're saying it from a female perspective who's spent many hours studying.
I think any man would agree with me and would be like, if I could look like that at his age.
I have no tendencies, jokes aside, that we like to joke about on the show. Like, I'm probably the least gay person, but if Brad Pitt was like, listen, here's the deal, man. I want to take you on a weekend getaway. It's happening. It's happening all day.
I mean, that does sound pretty gay, but no, I mean,
it's not gay if it's Brad Pitt.
4 days.
It's not gay if it's Brad Pitt. That's right.
That's
the new line in the show. It's not gay if it's Brad Pitt. Okay.
I have a T-shirt that says that. It's not.
You may have just lost 5 subscribers or gained 20. Who knows?
Who knows?
26. But Brad Pitt's got this easy charm that he uses all the time, be it in interviews, be it in his films. He's just effortlessly charming. I genuinely just think he's that kind of guy that everybody kind of likes, and no matter what film he's in. I mean, I really liked him in Bullet Train. I wanted to get a Lemon and Tangerine film, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen, unfortunately.
You're going to recreate some scenes from the film while you're in Japan?
So say again?
Oh, you're going to recreate some scenes from that film while you're in Japan?
Only if there's some stupid social media influencers on the train. Then it might well happen, be. Yeah.
See what happens. All right. Well, I don't want to spend too much more time on it because it's not out yet. I don't know if anyone knows the release date for it, but I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it, and I will commit to seeing that on the big screen. One other thing that we're going to talk about today is The Lord of the Flies, the new adaptation. There's been about 3 other adaptations. The last one on the big screen was in, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, because I saw it at a film festival. I think I saw it at the Richmond Film Festival. I want to say it was either 89 or
1990.
Thank you very much. And
I was meant to watch it at school. Yeah,
that version launched the acting career of Balthazar Getty, who sort of went on to have a moderately successful career. It's a pretty horrible book in terms of it makes for grim reading. It's supposed to be provocative. It's supposed to be thought-provoking, and it's supposed to make you think about things. The premise, for anyone who doesn't know, is that a plane carrying a load of boys who are being evacuated from a location somewhere because of World War II. The plane has crashed. Part of the plane has been destroyed, the part with all the adults in it. The passenger tube section with most of the children in it appears to have landed relatively intact, although we don't see that in this version. And most of the children of varying ages, from kind of 4 to 5 years of age up to kind of 12 or 13, have survived. In the book, as in this miniseries and as in the previous series, the children basically have to fend for themselves. They quickly form into 2 camps, one led by the aggrieved chief, Ralph, and the other a group of hunters led by Jack. And the writer's original intention, who went to public school and witnessed characters of this nature, really wanted to show how quickly people would devolve into animals if they were left in a situation to fend for themselves, and how these kind of self-entitled tough boys would degenerate into all sorts of absolutely appalling behaviour. That's what the show shows. Now, this version, if you're familiar with the films of Terrence Malick, which can be both beautiful, compelling, sometimes a little strange, especially in the case of the last one that I saw of his at the cinema, where quite a lot of people walked out. But he also gave us The Thin Red Line, which is an absolutely superb World War II film. This Lord of the Flies is really, it very much leans on Terrence Malick's work. There's a lot of abstract visuals, unusual camera angles. The music is very creepy and weird. And it's really down to whether you like that style of filmmaking or not, as to whether this version is going to appeal to you. Putting that to one side, the visual aesthetic to one side, what this version does very well is capture all the toxicity and narcissism of this scenario and the appalling behavior of the various characters. The child actors do a really good job. This is Winston Sawyers, who's playing Jack in this section. And you have Lox Pratt, who's playing... the last actor's playing Ralph. Lox Pratt is playing Jack. My apologies. And they both do a pretty good job as the sort of the main opposing rivals. I feel that the script could have been slightly stronger in a few places. But episode 3 is particularly good. For me, episode 3 was a sort of make or break episode between it being art over substance. Unfortunately, episode 3 had more substance in it than the artsy fartsy stuff. So episodes 1 and 2 felt very kind of Terrence Malick. I'm going to do a certain look, and it really just depends whether you like that type of look. But more important to mention, in this version, is that my 2 adopted nephews are in this, Cass and Noah Flemyng, and actually, unfortunately, they're not in any of these stills, but they are on our poster for tonight, on our thumbnail. And in fact, I think that's Noah on the left of screen now, on our poster in the background. This was the first time that they had acted in anything, and I had a little bit of communication with them when they were out there because they were struggling at one point because it was a very demanding shoot. They had to be up very early. They had quite long days, and they were filming in a foreign country with, you know,
Where were they filming?
It was all shot out in the, I think it was either Malaysia, Philippines, that direction. I couldn't tell you the exact location, but out that way. And they were there for most of the summer. They were there for the best part of, I think, 8 or 9 weeks. And, you know, shooting with large groups of children is problematical at the best of times. But they sawed through it in the end and really enjoyed the experience. And now they're both committed to being actors. So I was really keen to see how they did because they're basically family to me. These are the sons of actor Jason Flemyng, my most frequent collaborator and older brother, effectively in all but name. So, but from a legal point of view, absolutely the case. So I was very keen to see how they did in the context of their roles because they play the twins, which is quite a key role in the book, and they have a number of key scenes. Fortunately, I can say that Cass and Noah, with no bias on my part whatsoever, they did an absolutely outstanding job in this, and I am extremely proud of both of them. I mean, they really, really, really did do a good job, as did the rest of the child cast. I think where the production struggles a little bit is some of the narrative could have been done a little bit better. The monster in the original book is basically, it's the pilot of the plane, and he's wounded, and so he kind of like, he's moaning from inside this cave, and that howling kind of reverberates throughout the island, and so, you know, these rumors go around that there's this monster, etc., etc. What are we going to do? And that's all part of that. All becomes part of the narrative. The way they handle that in this ain't that great, if I'm honest. I think they could have done it slightly differently. I would have liked to have seen that handled in a different fashion. But overall, though, it's not a bad it's not a bad adaptation by any means. And one of the things I do find it quite bizarre, bearing in mind that this is Lord of the Flies, and I'll let everybody chime in a second, is Lord of the Flies is a very, very disturbing book. It's really a challenging read, and by that I don't mean it's not accessible. It's a very accessible book, and if you haven't read it, you should. But a lot of people kind of, like in the Daily Mail, for example, wrote in, and the reviewer was like, "Oh, this version is too creepy. It's too disturbing," and BBC viewers rip into the unwatchable Lord of the Flies and all this, right? That's what they said. And by the way, here's Cass and Noah. I've got a picture of them. It's slightly out of focus, but so this is Cass and Noah playing the twins with Piggy behind them. So you've got these people griping accordingly, and I'm quite mystified because it's supposed to be disturbing. It's supposed to be grim. It's not a comedy, and I think the problem is that they've scheduled this as Sunday BBC evening, Sunday viewing, normally where you would kind of get detective shows and people solving a murder at the vicarage, someone's been strangled and that kind of thing. And this is really grim, with, kind of kids killing kids, and you're seeing ants feeding on animals, cuts to shots of that, and the struggles in nature, that kind of thing. Plenty of stuff for Alan's spiders to have a look at. So, so I think those complaints are actually invalid. If there are some people that are saying they don't like the style and they don't like the music, and I think that's an artistic choice, and you'll either like it or you won't. Thank you so much, Deadman13, for £4. All contributes towards that winter heating bill, which will be coming fairly soon. Ollie, in the chat, not convinced it's going to be good. A BBC production. Well, BBC makes some good things now and then.
This is one of the better things that the BBC has made.
Yeah. So, Al, give us your have you seen the whole thing, or how many episodes?
No, I've only managed to catch the first episode, unfortunately. But I echo most of what you said. I feel the narrative choices that have been made maybe are slightly to the detriment. It's been a long time since I read the book, I must say that. At least 20 years since I read Lord of the Flies.
Well, I didn't read it since I was at school, so a long time for me also. Has to be said.
I've got a copy on my bookshelf somewhere. But it's been a long time. I've listened to the Iron Maiden song "Lord of the Flies" since before I read that book. Since I read that book, I thought the first episode was fine. Some of the music was really weird. There was some music that I really thought worked and added to the episode.
It's clever with the suspense sometimes. That kind of
drum. Yeah, you get a bit of suspense moving, or you get a bit of whimsical music when needed. But then every now and again, you get these really weird sort of discordant noises out of nowhere, and I'm not quite sure what they were trying to convey there, but it was just distracting.
Do you mean like those kind of really? It's almost like violin strikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of obviously only seen the first episode, so the characters have got a long way to go. I do feel they're pushing Jack way too much. Like, come on, calm down. Jack's meant to be he's meant to have an arc that, he's supposed to progress.
Well, they've done,
got him up here somewhere.
What they've done is they've named each episode after a character.
I saw the last one's Ralph.
Episode 1 is named after Piggy, isn't it? So, and you've only seen that. You've got
Piggy, Simon, Ralph, and Jack, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Jack arrives already as a kind of combative leader. It's too quick, too soon, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's meant to start off here with the other kids, and then quite rapidly, but there is a period where he's with them, and then he starts to go the hunter-gatherer kind of aggressor route, and that's jumped straight off. So that was throwing me a little bit, and I felt it did discredit to his character. Because there's no subtlety there. He is just already always wrong, always an arsehole. That's a little bit disappointing.
And he's a coward as well.
He's a coward. Yeah, exactly. There's no nuance there.
No.
And some people would say something about the race swap. It didn't bother me in the slightest. It also doesn't bother me that, he happens to be the leader of the good guys and Jack. There are no good guys and bad guys. It's human nature. We know that. That's what law of Flies is all about.
I didn't care about the, it's a modern version. They've still said it in the 40s. That's fine.
It's still, honestly, Lance, apart from the fact that you have got the diversity in the cast, which isn't, I don't think, necessarily pushed. It's just there. And you might be like, well, would there really be 3 Asian lads on a plane in the 1940s? Maybe, maybe not. But, it's not pushed in your face. It's just there. It's just diversity. It's just there. I haven't had any problems with it. I thought the conch was done really well. I thought the scenes with Piggy were done really well, and the setup and everything. But they just seem to have missed some development on the characters that I would have liked to have seen. I presume because it's only a 4-part series.
Yeah, but you're right. Jack doesn't have much of an arc in it. He's an out-and-out villain, really, from the word go. He's a pompous, annoyance from the word go. Whereas actually, I think he could have been played with a bit more charisma.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily lay that at the door of the child actor either, because I think all the actors were very good.
No, he's very good. He's very good.
Including your twins, your nephews, from what little I've seen of them, they seem to be doing absolutely fine. Because the other thing there's a lot of in this film is that there's a lot of close-ups of the boys' faces.
Yeah.
They pan across the cast, showing each of the boys' faces from like about that far away.
They do that.
They do that expressions.
Where they introduce them and stuff like that.
And I presume as time goes on, we're going to get more of that, and we're going to see their faces change as.
You do. Yeah, you get more of that, and I think this really could have been. This really should have been 5 or 6 episodes, and I'm not just saying this because, of course, I love Cass and Noah to bits. I really think the show would have benefited from having an episode called The Twins, because the twins are the last people in the book to betray Ralph, to go to the other side. And they're also the ones who save his life. So they have a really interesting narrative. And I think it would have been, they've missed a trick here, they've just shown them as always talking together and being together. It would have been great to have had a couple of scenes with them when they're on their own talking about what to do, particularly when they decide whether or not to ultimately join the Hunters tribe and so on, you know. And I think it's a shame that we don't have that.
Would you say overall the adaptation keeps the themes of the book intact?
Yeah, I think the themes of the book are absolutely there. I just think it is a bit sort of like, these guys are bad, this guy's good, and gradually these guys go bad.
It felt superficial, I think is the word I would use.
The bad guys were too bad too soon. It was very much like, here are the posh boys from the choir, and these are the villains. Yeah.
And here's the kind of I don't want to say commoner, but the kind of slightly lower class, and they're good, they appreciate everything, and they're the smart ones.
Like, these are the guys from secondary school. These are the guys from Tiffin's Boys up the road. Anyone who comes from Kingston upon Thames will know that. It's like, this is Hollyfield and these are Tiffin's. That dynamic I didn't think worked that great. I like the idea of there being a set of boys that are already in the choir, and that shot where they come in singing was all kind of cool, but there wasn't much context given to it. It was just like, that was a good idea that they came up with, so they put it in.
I mean, that was just to show Jack's militaristic.
Well, he's already a leader, and
his kind of authoritative approach, because obviously Simon faints, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's always fainting," and you know. In some way, like, wearing black cloaks on a hot beach is probably not a great idea, and they're just like,
no.
Shut up, Patty.
In some ways, it might have been nicer if that scene had come later, and Jack getting up to suddenly lead everyone in a choir session would have been maybe the thing that suddenly turned a load of people over to his side. You see, that now that would have been really nuanced, but we can't have that. I mean,
this is what I'm thinking. Really, I'm thinking what I'm thinking, Lance, is this is by the same guy that did the Adolescents, isn't it?
Some of the same people, and
Jack Thorne.
It's not entirely. Oh, that's right. No, it is. Yes. I was thinking of the one shot thing.
And I can kind of tell.
Yeah, but anyway, you and I are way past our Sandtimer time.
Yes, sorry.
Anna, let's hear your thoughts. I know you've watched at least one episode.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Al in that I've read the book a long, long time ago. And although I do have some vivid experience, some vivid memories from moments in the book, because it was it's always a little traumatic. And then I've seen the first episode of this show so far. And I was really intrigued by all of the interesting camera choices, especially the first shot of the episode opens on a really strange wandering sort of fisheye lens shot through the forest, and then eventually lands on Piggy putting on his glasses. And I had noticed that Piggy was a focus character. It's interesting that I hadn't known for the other 3 episodes that they will focus on, I suppose, what you could call the 3 other main boys in Simon, Ralph, and Jack. But I thought it might be a Piggy focus all the way through, and I was wondering how that would work, because there is a point at which he's removed from the story. But you're absolutely right, Lance, in that I would say the other major characters would be Roger and then the twins, Sam and Eric. And so it could have been a story like this, because I was wondering at the point when it ended at the first episode, there's only 3 1-hour episodes left. How are they going to do divisions? And they could have done it in 6 rather than in 4. But I'll have to see the rest to be able to make a determination of that. And of course, your nephews stand out because they are the twins, and so I knew who to look for, and they don't do much this episode, but they're obviously going to be focus characters who provide a point of view of I suppose more the Ralph faction, who's being so heavily pressured by Jack's faction. And I'd agree with Al as well. I thought right off the bat, having the actor for Jack is just fantastic, but having the script being he's so villainous right off the bat, he strides in as a leader but doesn't seem to care about Simon or any of his men. Of course, having them be choir boys is straight from the book, except I felt the whole point of them being choir boys was, you know, in theory, they're almost more pious and more holy than the rest of these boys, and yet how quickly and how rapidly do they degenerate into absolute savagery. But in order to degenerate into savagery, they have to start from a point of view of it, at least pretending to be good leaders and people who care and who are, who are charismatic enough that they would win people to their side. And so I thought Jack showing that he has no regard for any of the boys around him, including those who are his friends, his underlings, it didn't make a lot of sense. And they're trying to compare him, both aesthetically. It's supposed to be the kind of character like a Joffrey or a Malfoy, where it's a little bratty boy who's, extremely stuck up, and you're supposed to hate him. But even those characters, when introduced, weren't introduced as, irredeemably villainous right off of the bat. You're supposed to see some of that duality, and then their baser sides come out, especially as they conflict with our point of view characters representing, I suppose, the more civilized elements of the boy society. And so there is no duality with Jack, and I feel that's quite a loss, because the actor could play that really, really well. But I would say that's a failing of the script, and I'm not sure what would be the motivation to rush into it so quickly. But that again just might be time. But that criticism aside, I think it's beautifully shot. I thought the effect when the choir boys showed up again, like, that was really strange, but I've decided I liked the camera work, being very avant-garde.
Yeah, it is very 1990 version.
I saw that once, a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, the 1919 version is fine, but it's a feature film. It's 100 minutes or whatever. So they have slightly longer running time. But I think the Jack Rao thing, which is obviously quite key, that film probably, I'd need to watch it again. The degeneration of Jack into villain, even in that film, didn't feel as quick as this. You're right. From the moment he comes on, I can't remember what his first or second line is. But, I mean, literally his first 4 lines might as well say, "I'm an arsehole." That was a bit of a problem. It would have been better if he was more likable and a bit more amenable, and not so testy with Ralph from the get-go. So that, I mean, there is that duality if he's always trying to be his friend and play him off against Piggy. But I think all of that could have been done a bit more effectively. I think if they'd done an episode with the twins as well, that would have given us what we're missing on the show, which is a nice arc showing the gradual pressure on somebody to switch sides, which they have to do. And they also retain their humanity because they save him. They don't betray him when they could do. They give him the opportunity to betray him, and they don't. And they've kept all of that intact, which is great. I know also Cass and Noah had some scenes cut. I think they had at least 2 dialogue scenes cut. So maybe they did have a scene where they were just on their own discussing what they should do, because that scene for me should be in the show, and it's not, which is a shame. Toxic, have you seen it at all, Lord of the Flies?
I mean, I've seen the 1990 version of it. I've seen that.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what you think of this one if you get a chance to watch it.
I'm going to be honest with you, Lance. I don't like children. I don't like seeing them act. I don't like seeing them breathe. I think until you're 20, your opinion is worthless. I don't think kids can act, and I don't like watching them. So I don't like.
The children have a bad time in this. You know, they.
I especially don't.
I think you'd enjoy this for that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't like British children, especially. I don't like the British.
Then you'll love this
coming out of children's mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Always good to hear from the Americans. Now we know. Now we know what we ceded from that country. Maybe we lost the war. I can't remember.
I think I ceded, or why you guys got your asses kicked in the forest. I think you're remembering it wrong, buddy.
Did anyone else want to say any final points about Lord of the Flies before we move on?
I'll have more to say when I see more of it. I will watch the rest of it because it's only another 3 hours, so there's no reason not to. I don't hate it. I'm concerned with what it's going to do.
Well, my rating for the show overall, because we haven't done a rating for it, is 7 out of 10. I thought it's well acted. The kids do a great job. There's not a kid where I'm watching it and going, no, wish they got a better kid to play that role. I didn't have that at all whilst watching this thing. But I think sometimes the artistic choices work and sometimes they don't quite work with the show. But it's a 7 out of 10 for me. I'm still giving it a decent rating. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, based on the first, I think 7. It could go up, or it could go down, depending on the rest of it. So
I think you'll probably end up in the same place as me, based on what you've said today.
We might watch the 1990 version again, actually, and compare them. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw it twice. I think I saw it once on video as well, because I think a friend of mine wanted to watch it, and we rented it. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's funny when I watched the 1990 version. I booked a whole load of tickets at this festival in one go, and I think I watched it the same day as the movies The Package and The Fourth War. I saw all 3 of those films in one day. The Package, Gene Hackman. I've mentioned this movie many times. If you haven't seen it, it's an absolutely fantastic first-class movie. It's got to be one of your faves, Toxic, right? The Package. Yeah. It's sort of, I thought so.
Very good taut action thriller set in Chicago, based around the military, and just really underrated performances by everybody.
Yeah, and quite sort of realistic in terms of the kind of black ops stuff that goes on as well, I think. Yeah.
Andrew Davis, I think it's Andrew Davis film, right?
It is. It's one of his early films. Yeah.
He's a great director.
He's done some stuff I've absolutely loved, and he's done a couple of films I'm not so keen on. But
he actually made Steven Seagal watchable.
He did. I mean, listen, that's an Oscar-winning achievement.
That's godlike powers.
it is godlike powers, indeed, and we've got to do a Steven Seagal stream at some point. Although Space Ice does that stuff so well. Another thing that I want to mention briefly, I don't think any of you will have seen it, so we won't spend too much time on it. But if you've ever seen a BBC show, a sort of half-hour comedy, it had about 3 seasons and a couple of specials, called The Detectorists. This was written and partly directed by Mackenzie Crook, who is one of the original characters from the UK version of The Office. It's a half-hour comedy show. And his new show, which he wrote and also directed, but is not the lead actor, and he's just got a small role on it, Small Profits, dropped on the BBC today. Let's have a quick look at the trailer, and I've watched the whole thing. I'll tell you my thoughts.
I met a man who managed to grow homunculi. They're like little people in jars. Excuse me, do you sell buckets? Buckets? No.
I'm always wondering what he's up to in that shed of his.
Are you two an item? No!
You can ask them questions about the future.
They will always answer with the truth.
What are you going to ask them?
So that's the trailer for Small Profits. It's basically 6 half hours. I watched the whole thing today. I had it on in the background while I was working. Did have to stop work occasionally because it's pretty engrossing. Very light viewing. It's got Michael Palin from the Monty Python playing the father in it. And then you've got Catherine Drysdale, Charlotte Mills, Mackenzie Crook doing a supporting role. Shola Adewisi, who's an actress I absolutely love. She's brilliant in everything she is in, and Paul Kay, and a couple of other people. Basically, it's about a character who his wife left him, called Michael Sleep. Sorry, his long-term girlfriend. Everybody thinks they were married because they were together for so long, but they actually won't. And he's played by an actor called Pierce Quigley, who's done small roles in The Detectorists and other things like that. So you may well have seen him in a couple of other BBC things. He also plays this priest in The Gentleman. So I'll pop that up on the screen so people can see what he looks like. So his long-term girlfriend, Clea, has left him. She left him 7 years ago on Christmas Eve. Her car was found near the Severn Bridge, which is a very, very notorious suicide spot in the UK, and she's never been found since. For a long time, he was suspected of her murder, but it's clear that you know, from the setup in the pilot episode, that he did not murder her, and he's kept the living room with all the Christmas presents in it and everything exactly as it was when she left. And for some reason, to emphasize the passage of time, there's an Action Man helicopter under the Christmas tree, which I think is actually for his brother-in-law, who's played by Paul Kaye. So he's living in this house. It's very overgrown with foliage and stuff. He's annoying his next-door neighbour because he won't ever cut down all the bushes and things that are getting out of hand. And he works at this kind of big sort of DIY store, like those huge ones you have in the States, like Best Buy or whatever, one of those big things, but mainly DIY stuff in it. And is very dysfunctional. His father, who's suffering from dementia and is in an old people's home, tells him that he needs to foster and grow these things called profits, which are basically like sea monkeys. And he thinks that his father is telling him how to grow sea monkeys. And to cut a long story short, these turn out to be little Oompa Loompa-like people, except they look more like small angels in a jar. And if you ask them a question about the past, present, or future, they will give you the correct answer. So that's basically the premise of Small Profits. And so he wants to grow and nurture these things so that when they come to adulthood, he can basically ask them the question, what happened to Clea, my girlfriend? You know, is she still alive? That's the setup for the whole show. I've watched it. I loved it. The performances are great. It's very funny in places. It's also quite good at picking up on minutiae of ordinary day life and looking at some of the things that are really tragic about people. And this show and The Office did that really, really well. The Detectorists did that really, really well. Mackenzie Crook has turned out to be an incredibly talented guy. I really like this show. It's a strong recommendation from me. I've got to give it a 9. I don't think anybody else has seen it, but if you have, jump in now. Anyone?
I've not seen it, but I quite like The Detectorists, so I would be very excited to see this one. It's got Mackenzie Crooks and Peter Copley as well, so yeah, I think I'll have to put it on the list.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a very easy watch. It's a good show to stick on right before bedtime. Now, Toxic, I'm going to let you go next because I know you've only got another half an hour. Wants to talk about one of my favorite older TV shows, which is great. I think we may have mentioned this one a couple of years ago, but there's no issue whatsoever talking about it again, and that is Southland.
Yeah. So this is this originally an NBC show for back when NBC was like a baller, you know, one of the big three, and they would come up with these great dramas. Unfortunately, they had a horrible habit of canceling them if they didn't find their footing right away. It's a cop procedural drama, originally released, I'm wanting to say either 2008 or 2009-ish. I say that
around then, I think.
Yeah, I say that because I know that's when I was at Bragg and I watched it. It's a little shaky at first because it's got an enormous cast. And it's all cops, you know, in LA's, you know, Metro Crime Division area. And, you know, it's a day in the life procedural. It's very well shot, but at the same time, it gives you almost a fly on the wall illusion of watching something that's taking place in real time. And they are very good, even in the beginning, of spreading the narrative between the detective gang unit to the street patrol to the rookie to you know, homicide robbery detectives, and having them interlink their cases in a very plausible way, as opposed to another TV cop show like The Rookie, where stuff is completely implausibly, you know, like they also have a huge cast and the characters are all sort of, you know, thrown slapdash together, you know, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, whereas this one does. And not all the and it was picked up, it got canceled by NBC, then immediately picked up by TNT. Very smart move. It's recently found its way onto Netflix.
Oh, great.
That's where I picked it up at. I will tell you that while I was in Iraq, I did I did buy this off of iTunes and binged it over there, although the downloading took forever on the internet we had over there. But I'd basically start downloading it, go on shift, and then come home, and I'd have like 2 episodes. I'd be like, all right, well,
you'd go out on patrol, deactivate like 20 IEDs, come back, and then you'd have season 1. Kind of
oh, I wasn't that cool, but yes, basically. No. So yeah, it's so well done. It's interesting to me. I've got to look into it. I'm wondering, the girlfriend and I had just recently last year finished Shameless, and we see all these Shameless actors popping up on this. So I'm almost wondering, are some of the same people involved in Shameless, doing this? It's very interesting, and it's really, there's like a big, it makes you think that you follow that clip right there. The cop that plays Ben, he's from, yes, he's from, a lot of people may know him as you're either going to know him from this, or you're going to know him from the OC, or you're going to know him from Gotham. So he's been a TV actor for a long time, and it was funny because this is what he did to follow up the OC, and he basically plays the same character except now as a rookie cop. And Michael Kulditz is his training officer. He turns out to be gay, and it's not in a woke virtue signaling way. He's like a regular dude that's just happens to be into dudes. And it's all very compelling. The show is not afraid to make the characters unlikable and unsympathetic in a lot of ways. And I think that's, they make a lot of bad choices with what they do. Whereas again, I juxtapose it against The Rookie, which I also do watch, and The Rookie, almost everybody's infallible and they're almost all likable and they all like each other. Whereas in this, they're all, you have a lot of characters that are, they're just making regular life choices, but unfortunately, because they wear a badge and they carry a weapon, they have the power of life and death. So someone says here, Southland is one of the best cop shows ever, very underrated. I 100% agree with this, Paul Smith. I think it's extremely underrated. It doesn't have quite the viciousness of something like The Shield, but it does have a good amount of raw, gritty energy. And there's no well, it's Darth Plato actually just read my mind. It's hard to compare the two because The Shield is a dark drama. This has levels of darkness in it, but this is more of an ensemble show, whereas The Shield is pretty much Michael Chiklis, as the front runner. This one is not afraid to give you a character for a few episodes, focus on them, and then pull them away and make them a secondary character and give somebody else a time to shine, which I really like.
Yeah, it's more about the everyday rather than having an overall arc per season. Where The Shield always had a distinct villain for each season, especially from season 2 onwards.
Agreed.
You had a strong through narrative for that season, and then you would have some day-to-day around that and some other subplots, and there'd usually be a subplot of the week. Southlands is much more
a day in the life type.
The day in the life of several characters, and as you say, it might focus on somebody for one episode, then you'll focus on someone else for another episode. But it's really good. There's a whole load of actors from Band of Brothers in this. Just Michael Cudlitz, I think about 3 or 4 others at least. Turn up. The one DiMatteo, is it James DiMatteo? I think he pops up in it.
He does.
And Sean Hatsey is also in this. It's funny. He did this before he did the surfing thing, I think.
The what thing?
The brothers,
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. I think he did this before Animal Kingdom.
He did. It's interesting that you mentioned him too, because the girlfriend and I had watched Animal Kingdom, and she goes, "Oh, look, it's him." The first season is very different than what we get in the later like the first season's very experimental, and then they kind of find their footing in season 2, and the characters don't completely change, but they change. So like for instance, Sean Hatasoy, he goes from gang unit detective married to single on patrol as a training officer, and not doing very well in a lot of, and being a very kind of, as you can see, a polarizing character. But he's very compelling to watch. Everybody, you think you get a handle on one person and what they're going to do, and then I think it's definitely Coldit's best performance. Some people really
I would agree.
Yeah, some people prefer him in The Walking Dead, and that doesn't take anything away from what he did in The Walking Dead, but at the same time that was more of a cartoonish type performance, whereas this, he gets to play a very nuanced, complicated character that you're not always sure that you really want to root for him a little bit. He's sort of an antagonist one moment, and then the next moment he's just really, really compelling. And I've been watching him since like 92 when he was in School Ties and stuff, and he's always solid, but in this he really has a lot of range. So,
I mean, his main subplot is that he's addicted to painkillers following a back injury.
Yes.
And that's a great narrative which goes through most of the show, and then I love him in the show. For me though, the actress Regina King absolutely steals this TV
Agreed.
show. She's probably got the best narrative in terms of all the different things that happen to her. And I've seen Regina King in lots of things.
Sure.
But man, this show really pushed her. She's in all 43 episodes. The show ran from 2009 to 2013. I maybe caught a couple of eps of it around that time. It wasn't until I think around 2016 or 2015 was The Shield used to be on Channel 4. It was 10 o'clock every Wednesday, right? And that was how I saw the first, let's say, 3 seasons of The Shield. And then, I moved houses and things like this, and terrestrial TV kind of drifted, and I forgot about The Shield. And it wasn't until I was in one of these secondhand stores one day, I saw season 5 box set of The Shield, and I was like, oh shit, man, that went up to season 5. God, I don't know what happened. So that day I came back in to the house, said to my then partner, my God, you've never seen The Shield. We've got to watch it. And I haven't seen the last 3 seasons. So we went back out together. We scoured all the charity shops, and we found the entire thing of The Shield on DVD. I've got them all on the shelf behind me. Bought the whole lot in the same day. And me and her, we binge watched The Shield in like a couple of weeks, the whole thing. We were watching like 5-6 episodes a day. And then after The Shield, we were like, oh, I wonder if there's another show out there that's as good as that. And we put into Google, what's the next best cop procedural show after The Shield? And Southland was the number one that came up, and we watched it in lockdown. I think it was. I think we started watching it maybe end of 2019. And we watched the rest of it in lockdown, and we loved it. We absolutely loved it. It was much more contained than The Shield. The Shield is like you watch an episode and you've got to watch the next one. The Southland did leave you with cliffhangers, but you could go to sleep and probably not be thinking about them for the next 3 hours. Whereas with The Shield, it's like the next day, I've got to put the next disc in as soon as I get up in the morning, when we got those. But yeah, really good choice. Happy you brought it up again.
So if you have Netflix, it's definitely something that is worth your time. I think it works better as a binge watch than in my opinion. That's really most things, if I'm being honest. I like to watch things at my own pace and distance. I don't like to wait for stuff. So back when I think maybe that's my main gripe about season 1 is that I did watch it in real time on NBC, and I had to wait each week, and that was annoying. But when I got, when I was able to download it and watch it all at least a few episodes at a time, then, and so especially now watching it, and it's still compelling because it has all these little subplots that go on. And so like last night, the girlfriend's asking me, oh my God, that kid's not going to die, is she? And I'm like, I don't remember, because it's been, 2009 was how many years ago? Like 16 years ago, 17 years ago. So I was just like, I don't remember, and so it's like watching it again
Yeah.
for the first time. So yeah, I mean, and I would give the advice, if it's sort of coming off mid or confusing to you in season 1, it really gets streamlined and it finds its legs at season 2. So I would suggest watch it, give it a chance, get through season 1, and then by the time you get to season 2, I think it's really good.
I agree. And there's enough in season 1 to make you want to watch.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'll give it a show 9 out of 10 overall.
I'll go so far as to give it, pretty much, if not for a shaky season 1, I would give it a perfect 10. I'll give it like at least a 9.5 if I'm allowed to, just because I'm very forgiving of it, because I know what I know as a whole. So as a whole of the show, I'm so glad that it got in. A lot of shows don't get another chance like this. They don't get picked up by another big affiliate, and I think it shows, it's a testament to TNT's foresight by just the fact that they picked this up and were like, you know what, this is a gem. And I think it works better on TNT than it did on because they were smart enough to syndicate it and have it. They would play it at multiple times, so they play it like 7 and 11 and things like that on the or whatever your time zone happens to be. I don't know if they do that in the UK or not. Maybe they don't. I'm not
One
sure.
of the interesting things I've learned recently is that on most of the platforms, the 2 big ones, Amazon and Netflix, the stuff that's doing the best, that's getting the most views, is actually not the new content, like the new films or the new show, and they do okay, but it's actually the older favorite shows or films of people that are getting the most views. So that would explain why Netflix has also bought all 15 seasons of ER, which for a long time was my favorite TV show of all time. I was really into that when it first 5-6 seasons especially, and I guess that what they're doing is identifying the content that is of a certain quality and buying it up and putting it on their channel, and that makes a lot of financial sense to me, because people like us are probably going to watch it again.
I know. I definitely. And not only that, somebody like me, I'm going to make the girlfriend watch. I'm going to be like, hey, this is going to be, because that's how we do things. We pick a show and then we binge it. And I run the Plex Pass, but she runs the Netflix. So
yeah, I mean, just to make it clear for the viewers watching, Tox doesn't get to tie to a chair or anything. She has the trousers and the command in the TV.
Well,
remote.
she has a badge and a gun, and I do not. So
there you go, indeed.
Yeah,
so before we lose you, Tox, did you see The Wrecking Crew on Amazon?
For my sins, yes. For my sins.
For my sins also. Now, I did a gut reaction to this. I jumped online and did an instant review. Now, I will say, when I watched it, I was in the mood for a nonsense action buddy kind of picture, and that is what I got. Was it as good as, say, things like Running Scared and those buddy things of old? No, this felt on par with something like Beverly Hills Cop 3. That's where it was for me, but it had some okay bits. These guys had good chemistry, I thought, but I mean, I've already completely forgot. It was very forgettable.
How dare you put Running Scared in the same sentence as the? I can't even believe.
Well, it's also a buddy movie, so I mean, they are both buddy movies. I think.
I mean, they're both movies, so I mean, that's like as far as it goes. That's insane that you would put that. Running Scared is one of the best buddy cop movies ever made.
It is
I
indeed.
put it up there with Lethal Weapon in 48 Hours, and you put it in. This is just slop. And listen, I'm gonna break. I'm sorry, everybody. Here's the deal. He might be a very cool guy in real life. He seems like he is. I feel like I would get a beer with Jason Momoa. He's a bad actor. He is not a good actor. He is one note. He is a one note, and this older Ozempic version of Batista is really sad. He does have some range, and I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I liked him in the sequel to Blade Runner. I thought he was pretty compelling in that, even though he had a small part. But this old Ozempic version of him is not good, and this is just complete slop. Now, if they'd have gone like Central Intelligence, that like with The Rock and Chris and Kevin Hart, if they'd have gone that route with it and just made it like leaned into the humor more, but I don't find them watchable. I don't find them funny. I was on my phone most of the time, just like I was actually like wishing for death a little bit watching this. This is such trash. This is such low effort freaking trash. Like, it's so dumb, and it doesn't even have the dumb charm of the late 80s, early 90s schlock that they used to put together, like Brandon Lee and what's his name from Rocky, for Showdown in Little Tokyo. It doesn't even have that charm.
I saw that movie. I watched that movie with my dad. Actually.
Me and Stupenzo did a rewatch of it a couple years ago. It was actually a lot of fun. It doesn't have that. It's just soulless, dumb slop shit.
Is it better or worse than Miami Connection?
Is this worse than Miami Connection?
Yeah. Better or worse than Miami Connection?
I don't know. That's hard to say. It's just this polished fake, this is like Red Notice on Netflix with The Rock and Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. It's like one of those. So like if you like to have stuff like that on while you're ironing or while you're putting away laundry or while you're contemplating, eating your pistol, then maybe that's fine. Maybe if you get a lobotomy, or maybe not even that extreme. Maybe you just go get your wisdom teeth pulled and you have a lot of anesthetic still up, and it's like on in the background. That might be okay while you're drooling on yourself. But other than that, this is just dog shit.
10 out of 10 review then, huh, Todd?
I mean, I watched it under exactly those circumstances. So Lord of the Flies. No, not Lord of the Flies. Small Profits was on in the background today. I had to stop working several times because it was so good. I was like, I've got to watch that. I've got to rewatch that scene properly. This was on in the background, and I got lots of work done. I was like, another boring fight scene.
That could be a good category for movies, like just background noise movies. Just stuff to have
second
on.
Screen movie, isn't it? You're on your phone or whatever. You just look up every now and again when something blows up.
But I will be honest, I didn't hate it as much as you. I thought, okay, if I'd stuck this on, I think my ex-partner, who was quite a hard reviewer, Tox, would probably would have lent more to agreeing with you, and she was a fan of Batista. I don't mind Jason Momoa. I've met him in person. He's a lovely guy. I quite like him as an actor in the right role. I thought they were perfectly cast, and I thought they had some good charisma together. But the film, and it was nice that it was set in Hawaii. It was nice that we had a film that was set somewhere else, so we weren't seeing all the usual Californian locations. Another fight at another kind of Californian traffic lights. This time we had them at Hawaiian traffic lights instead.
Free holiday for everybody.
But free holiday for all involved, and it was probably good for the Hawaiian film industry. So it had some things going for it. I also thought the local Hawaiian cast were very good. Actually, there was some good people in the supporting cast. So I'd be wrong to just dismiss it as everything about it was shit. I don't think everything about it was shit. When you look at when you look at the people that worked on this, because I did this on my longer review, you can go and watch it. It's on the channel. And you look at the key people like the DOP and the director and the person that did the music and so on. Look at the credits they've got. These are all top A game people. They're all, like the stunt choreographer and all that. The person who did the Raid, I think, is it's the DOP from the Raid and Raid 2. So you've got these very high level quality people. But you're right, it does feel like just another churned out. There's so many of them that are so similar. Another one of these churned out action things.
Like Afterburn that was out recently. That was with Batista as well.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. Just
I watched about 10 minutes of that. I couldn't get into that at all. So, Anna, did you see it?
No.
No.
I've never been the biggest fan of Jason Momoa. I'm kind of with talks on this. I've never really seen him in a role where I thought he was a particularly good actor. And loads of women think he's very, very handsome, and I've never seen that either. So I don't think I was ever blinkered to his acting ability by liking the way that he looks. And so I just have no interest.
Okay, but my other cousin Anna in the chat says Aquaman made over $1 billion. So you know,
I guess
somebody
I'm wrong.
For one reason and one reason only, and it wasn't that it was a good film.
Yeah, your cousin now in the chat says Aquaman made $1 billion because Momoa was ripped and half naked. Well, indeed.
I mean, the 50 Shades of Grey movies were popular too. Avatar is popular. People like trash. Women like to see big, buff, tattooed men. Like they like. And listen, I agree with you. I think Momoa is a very charming. I've never seen him on TV and thought, like, in an interview or whatever, and not thought he was. I was like, dude, I would party with this dude. This dude, he seems like
lovely.
a good dude. He was extremely
he was a
likable.
metalhead too, so that gets.
He was very patient with me when I asked him for a picture. That picture turned out to be out of focus, and later at the after party of June, he did another one for me, which was very kind of him.
I mean, at least my girlfriend's kid made me sit through fucking Minecraft, and at least he made it a little bit watchable because he was so funny. I think he is. I think he could probably do more comedies, but he needs to maybe leave action alone. I think he could be very compelling. He did the last time that I saw him. So I'm not going to get off on a tangent, but I will say this: when he was in that Sylvester Stallone movie, Bullet to the Head or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He was very good and very frightening in that.
Yeah,
so,
he was.
So I will amend my statement a little bit by saying he's not. So he's been very typecast, hasn't he? He's not getting a chance to really have a lot of range, and I refuse to watch any more Fast and Furious movies. Although I heard he's the best thing in that latest Fast and Furious movie, and I'm inclined to believe that.
Yeah, because he plays the bad guy, doesn't he? So
I haven't seen the last two.
Neither.
I gave up at 9. I heard they went into space in the 10th one. I was like, no.
I watched Blue Collar's review on it, and he had a pretty good review on that. So if you get a chance, maybe if you don't want to watch the movie, just watch Blue Collar Loser's review on it. I thought it was pretty compelling. So
has anybody seen this?
You got to stop bringing up stuff I've watched because I'm trying to leave. But yes,
I know. Tox, give me a rating for Wrecking Crew, and I know you've got to go. What would you rating for the Steel be as well?
Wrecking Crew is a 1, only giving it that because you can it's something you can put on in the background. Steel is a lot more compelling. It's pretty interesting, although I think they maybe overreached with I don't want to give too much away. There's the
believability. Is that what we're going to say?
Maybe the believability, but also the way the narrative unfolds for you. It would have worked better as a 2-hour movie, I think, than them. I think we've established this a couple times. Like some stuff works as a TV show, and some stuff does not. I will say that what's her name here? Sophie Turner. I'm glad she's doing stuff like this because I think she is a very good actress. She's not just easy on the eyes. I think she's really, really good. I hope she gets more stuff like
Tomb Raider
to
Sophie
do.
Turner.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Is that a rumor or is that actually happening?
No. There's production shots and everything. I didn't think she could act at all.
Let's talk about that another time. But so Tox, what would you give this out of 10 before you go?
If you don't I don't want to completely compare it to like Rashomon or whatever, but if you don't like that kind of jumping around narrative storytelling, it's not quite like that, but that's the closest thing I could to describe it. If you don't like that, then you're not gonna like this. If you don't like British thrillers, you're not gonna like this. But if you're okay with that, and if you're not a fan of Sophie Turner, you're not gonna like this. But all that aside, if it's the opposite, then I think you will enjoy this. Prime is such an odd channel, isn't it? I think I've said this before, but it's like they have these like really bad clunkers, and then they have this really good quality shit.
Yeah,
it's like go ahead.
You know, it's a very hit and miss production channel in terms of its own content. They've done some really good stuff, and they've done some so-so stuff, and they've done some stuff that's utter tripe.
Yeah, I mean, you've got stuff like Reacher, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This is very good. You've got the Hannah remake that was turned into a TV series from the you've got all that is like really, but then they've got horrible like Rings of Power and
let's not waste time on that. All right, well, I'll let you go because I know you've got to get off.
Thanks. Sorry about that.
And hope to see you next week.
All right, guys. I'll see you Thursday.
Yep.
Cheers.
See you Thursday, man.
I did ask people if they would watch this. Did you guys both watch the first step? Still, no, Anna. Critic out.
You didn't ask me. I have no
say,
idea.
When I asked for
I do the
homework,
homework if you tell us.
Lord of the Flies.
I mentioned. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this one earlier in the week, but then I think that was on the Nielsen ratings chat stream, which gets dominated by all this other nonsense. You're not in that, Anna. You're not in that group. So, but I did mention I was going to talk about this show somewhere where everybody could see it.
Is that Anthony Ramos at the back?
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No,
I can't read it. Unfortunately, it's quite small on my screen.
I mean, what I'll say about this show is I think the first episode is really, really strong. It's a high tech. I'll just call it a high tech bank heist without giving anything away. And that whole sequence where the bank robbers are all sort of wearing fake makeup as well, where they've still got a real face, but you can tell that their faces have been altered, kind of also makes it really suspenseful. And I really liked it. I mean, it's a well-made show. The problem is then you start getting into the territory where, okay, we're gonna stretch it over. I think it was either 6 or 8 episodes. I forget how many. And there's a couple of twists too many in the show. But I feel like you could probably watch the first 2 episodes of this, and you could then watch the last episode, and you really won't have missed that much. And that would probably still work. But it was the first episode. I've got to give the first episode a solid 8. Really thought it was quite powerful. Whether you want to watch the rest of it depends on the factors that Tox mentioned. I'll also be honest, when I was watching it, I was like, this lead actress really reminds me of Sophie Turner. I didn't actually think it was her, because she's got a very different look. She dyed her hair.
She looks, I mean, she's not ginger there, is she?
Very, very near, and she's a very different character for her. And I was sort of watching it, and I was thinking, who is this I'm watching? And then I thought, oh, it's Sophie Turner. Okay. Oh, yeah, so I can see why she picked this project, because it's a very different character for her. It's kind of interesting. She gets to show her range, and she's pretty good in it, I have to say.
Okay.
She carries it pretty well. So
maybe that will change my mind on her, because I think she's as flat as
if you're stuck for something to watch, this is not a bad one. By any means. I think overall I'd probably give it 7 out of 10 overall. Okay. I give the first episode a 9. But I just told you, Darth, what you can do. You can watch episode 1 and then watch the last 2. In the middle it's a bit flabby. Agreed. It's
maybe want to watch at double speed or something, or speed and a half.
Well, I mean, that's if you like that. I can't do
1.25.
I mean, I'm
curious to see her performance though, because
I would. Yeah.
I watched all 6 episodes, but episodes 1 and 2 I was watching tools down, as in, I wasn't working. It gripped me pretty good, and I was like, okay, I have to stop working now. I'm going to watch this later. So I carried it, and then I did my work, and then I put it back on again. But then, like when I got to episode 3, it's like, this is kind of meandering a bit. I think I can probably do a bit of work while this is on. And that was the same for like 3, 4, and 5. And then I think there was even one episode, it might have been episode 5, where I was like, oh, for God's sake, get on with it. I was kind of skipping forward a bit. I don't need to see that scene. That's, you know, which is a terrible sin to commit, especially when you're a filmmaker and we all want our work to be watched properly on a home cinema system with no pauses. And how dare you go out to make a cup of tea, watch my show as it should be seen.
It's made for screen audience, isn't it? Let's face it. A lot of stuff is made to be.
But there's the reality is, including of my fellow filmmakers, we're all guilty of the same thing. We all get distracted very easily, and we all pause things, and you know, sometimes we don't even watch things properly. So I did give it
there's also such a volume of stuff that you've got to keep up on with, you know, of all your friends, and you'll never be able to catch up anyway. So you're just trying to fit in as much as you can. Yeah,
that's why I'm so happy the increased play speed button exists, because, you know, I can consume that stuff at 1.5 speed, and, you know, 9 times out of 10 I don't lose anything by doing that. Some things you do have to slow them down and watch them, like that pan thing.
Well, Al, because your mind is used to working at such a speed, because you have to keep in tune with your spider's sudden jumps.
This is exactly
that's why we know.
That way you put them up there, you mind meld, and the power of 2 brains
precisely
allow you to watch it double
that's how you get the power.
Yeah. Well, let's before we lose Anna as well, who I know has also got to leave slightly earlier today.
Shocking.
Let's talk about something that we're all enjoying, which I said from the get-go. I liked this show. I said it from episode 1. I'm quite liking this. Let's see where it goes. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Episode 4. Fucking rock. Episode 4 was the bollocks. It was so good. Anna, you haven't had much chatty time tonight, so you tell us why you like it.
I absolutely loved this episode. I thought they feel too short, but this is after episode 3, you start to see, okay, here's where the stakes are. Things are really picking up, and I've read the novellas, so I knew what was coming anyway. But for anyone who might have complained that the show was a little slow, or that events didn't feel significant, you see where all of this is coming together, how all of this setup and all of the really well-grounded character work in the early episodes is really paying off to some glorious highs. I don't want to get into spoilers if people in chat haven't seen it, although it came out several days ago now. But I thought Peter Claffey's performance when he's basically telling off all of the nobles to try convince one more person to come to his side. Are there no true knights among you? And he's delivering this brilliant speech while riding his horse. And it is one of the hardest things in the world to focus on riding your horse and making it look cool while also acting. And he just did an absolutely brilliant job through all of that. Yeah. And just some moments like when Raymond Fossaway is knighted, or or when Baylor rides up, there's so much that was just excellent moments, goosebumps all the way through, and you're like, wow, this is probably the best. If they stick the landing on this will be far and away the best TV adaptation of any of George R.R. Martin's works there are. It alone is a really excellent story, and it'll be an easy recommendation to anyone. I'm just so impressed with the work in this latest episode, and I absolutely loved every scene that Darren was in. We hadn't seen too much of him before, but I think that actor is just excellent and is absolutely nailing that character.
Which actor is that?
That's the second son of Maekor, the one who's sort of blondish and has dreams and is always drunk.
Yeah, but he's actually braver than his other brother, isn't he? In a way.
You get to see a number. There's often sometimes it's played up a little too much in Game of Thrones shows. Is that almost everyone of the noble class, and maybe there might be some among the small folk who are better, but most people are just irredeemably awful, are just trying to clamber on everyone's heads. And here you really see degrees of it. You see people, they might have different levels of honor, or they may not be so wholesome and pure in their ideals as someone like Dunk, but everyone is they're all pretty smart. They're all pretty reasonable and rational people. And you see that a lot of these are good men working between these various alliances and family ties that may bind their hands in ways that they're not able to do much about it, and yet they still recognize the situation fully. I've just really enjoyed seeing these as, not everyone is cartoonishly evil. There are a couple examples where they perhaps are, but most people are just like reacting like normal men to all of the situations unfolding.
All points incredibly well made. I agree. All the characters in this, there are some villains who are more kind of straight up bad guys. We have got a sort of another version of Joffrey effectively in one of the Targaryens, but on the whole, I just find that this show is way stronger. I mean, okay, in a way, it's got an easier job than Game of Thrones, which was an all-encompassing, massive epic that had to juggle so many balls in the air. And I'm talking both on screen and behind the scenes in the production in terms of keeping everybody on the show, Hopefully this won't fall foul of that. And I would love to see more adventures with this character. How many episodes have we got left? Is it two?
Two more.
Is it? Two more, right? I mean, it's simpler than Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. I'm still very much a fan of House of the Dragon. Incidentally, I don't dislike it as much as some people. I'm quite enjoying it. Looking forward to the next one. The gap between the two is way too long, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
I quite like House of the Dragon as well, actually. But I like this even more.
Oh no, this is much easier to get to grips with, and it's just more engrossing. And I think because of the simplicity of the narrative, Henry Ashton is the actor that we were praising, who's playing Daeron Targaryen, and who's on screen now. And you're right. I like his performance very much. I'm trying to get Danny Webb to come back on, by the way, so we can chat to him about his to prosthetic or not to prosthetic. That is the question. It would be. He's a good friend of mine, and we did have a back and forth texting conversation about the show, and he's really pleased that the response to it has been so positive. I mean, Al, you're up to speed on it, I think.
I'm not. No, I'm behind on this.
Sorry, didn't mean to spoil anything.
No, you're fine, because these kind of things, it's not a problem. I'm looking forward to catching up. I'm really, really excited by this series. It's so nice to have something that is just fantasy and simple, and isn't lecturing me or trying to push any kind of agenda or anything like that. It's just being what it is, and there's so much to be said for that.
They do like their fart and poo jokes, though, in the show. There's a massive moment of flatulence in episode 4 that you haven't seen yet, and it's a very big moment of flatulence. And
this is the best episode yet, though. Get ready.
Oh, it is. Listen, I didn't mind it. It's good to have levity, and it still kind of works, because
I mean, sometimes you need it because everything else is so oppressively, dire and bleak. Whether or not that's the case in this, I don't know, because this is definitely played with a lighter hand anyway, just through having Duncan the Tool, who is a much more amiable character than anybody else we've really been introduced with, through these series. But no, I'm really looking forward to finishing it off. Whether or not I wait for it to be finished and then just binge the whole damn thing in one go or not, I don't know. But I will definitely be watching more of it. It got me to break my George R.R. Martin boycott, but I don't think I'll be watching House of the Dragon after this. It's back on my boycott. Bastard. Okay. Finish writing.
They will do 2 more seasons of this show of Dunk and Egg, and they'll get to the end of it, and George will not have managed to write another 105 pages to do another of these stories. I swear, that man probably, when he goes to work every day, he sits down at his computer and slowly, carefully, for half an hour, deletes one paragraph and then shuts his laptop and calls it good for the day. I think that's all he does.
Don't surprise me. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've given up on it ever coming out, but at the same time, because I started reading the series in 1999, I am boycotting his other stuff. But this is a little spin-off, solo, self-contained thing, so I'm happy to check this out, and I'm glad I did. But I don't feel compelled to check out House of the Dragon, to be honest.
This is interesting. Season 3 of House of the Dragon's been cancelled. Sorry, season 4. So season 3 has to wrap up.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That seems like a tall order from what I've been hearing people say.
And they already had part of the reason why season 2 ended so abruptly is they had to cut down abruptly from 12 episodes to 10. And so they had to cut down, spoiler, but a major battle that would have left a lot of people a lot more satisfied. And so that's why the season just kind of ended strangely.
That's what I heard, because the reception to season 2 was nothing like the reception to season 1. People were saying they'd basically fucked it up. So yeah.
Was that a decision of budget? Anna, do you know?
It was, yeah, HBO, and had something to do with budget. But they pulled it on them rather suddenly while they were actively filming, I believe.
Yeah, because season 1 had 10 episodes, so of course they would have written season 2 to also have 10 episodes. Yeah, I can see that season 3's only been given 8 also. So what we might get is a very condensed version of their original vision, plot, and narrative, which I have to say doesn't bode well. Season 3 filming has wrapped, so
it's all done then.
Yeah, well, all done. It'll be in post production, which can take a ball ache.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no chance to add any more material or anything like that. It's done.
Would appear not. That's a shame, man. I've got I think I've got certainly got season 1. I might have season 2 on Blu-ray as well. So interesting. Just have a quick look. House of Dragon season 3. Season covers the events. So Ryan Condal serves as the sole showrunner for the season. Okay. I
mean, we all know that Warner Brothers have had
seeing any
problems.
news that season 4 hasn't been renewed. The last news I'm seeing is in November of last year is that season 4 is still on and confirmed. Not to doubt you, Darth, but
Darth says it's an inside source. Okay.
Oh.
Be Celestial, not seen you in the chat before. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I have seen you in the chat on other channels though. Yeah, so it'd be a shame. Anyway, back to Knight of the Seven Kingdom. So far, I have to rate this show 9 out of 10. I won't give it a 10 because we haven't got to the end of the show yet. And of course, there's still a chance for them to drop the ball. But this latest episode for me was a 10 out of 10. All the other episodes are either 8 or 9s. This is a 10 out of 10 episode. The show overall for me is a 9 out of 10 at the minute. It could be a 10 out of 10 by the time we get to the end of episode 6. So we shall see, where we get with it. Anna, did you have anything else you wanted to mention? Because I know you've got to head off in a couple of minutes.
Just once again, wonderful horse work. And I assume in the next episode especially is where we'll see a lot of the action, a lot of the budget would especially go into this because it's likely to be the big conflict and a lot of excellent horse work all the way through. They've got beautiful, accurate medieval saddles on their horses that have the really high pommel and cantle that will hold you in place. And there's a plate in the front, a burr plate called an arson, that is a piece of the armor that actually protects your groin, because if you're riding a horse, you can't actually have groin armor because you have got to sit in the saddle. So the saddle itself is armored. They've got all of the horse stuff and all of the barding really accurate, and it just looks excellent all the way through. I absolutely love the beginning of episode 3 where Egg goes with Thunder and has a little training session and is talking to Thunder. It's like, my father told me never to talk to a horse, and there's not a horseman alive who does not talk to their horses.
Yeah. I spoke to the horse that I rode down in Wales for two years in a row, or how many, and even the donkeys that I've ridden always have a quick whisper in their ear, please don't throw me, four-legged one, something like that. Indeed. Well, it is a great show. When does episode 5 drop? What day of the week is it that it drops?
It will be Sunday as normal. The last one was pushed early to Friday because of the Super Bowl, and then we have to wait 9-10 days for the next one.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's a ball ache. That's no
It's
good.
like, and this episode was so good. This is the first time in ages where I've been excited, like waiting for that next episode, and I have to wait even longer.
That's a pain. For the benefit of people watching, by the way, this entire show was all filmed in and around Belfast. So a lot of the same production team that worked on the big Game of Thrones shows will have worked on this behind the camera. And that's why you've got those beautiful rolling green hills. That basically is the countryside of Northern Ireland. So, good to see.
That actor you had on the other day, Jackson, I'm blanking on his last name, that Irish actor, he said he went to the same school as Peter Claffey, who plays...
He did, yeah. Peter Claffey was 2 years ahead of him, I believe. Yeah, they both went to... is it Bow Street? Was it Bow Street Academy? I think it was
That
Bow
sounds
Street.
right.
Yeah, Bow Street Academy.
And it's funny that Jackson was a footballer and then decided to switch to acting when Peter was a union rugby player and also switched over to acting.
Yeah, I know. No, Jackson, what a great kid. It was great having him on. He did a little post in an acting group, said, I've newly arrived in London, reaching out to writers, directors, etc. to network. And I thought that's a really interesting chat topic. Actors newly arrived in London, what can they do to network? And then I even got my casting director, Sharon Sorrentino, to pop on the stream with him. So he not only got to chat to me, he got to chat to a working casting director. So it all worked out very well for him. And he was a lovely lad. So I'm quite happy to have supported him. Darth Plato says Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a 10 out of 10. Indeed. So Anna, I suppose I should let you go because I know you said you've got to get ready to embark on a journey.
No worries. I'm gonna go descend into the blood ocean and I'll report back what we find at the bottom.
Okay, all right. Well, make sure you take appropriate scuba gear, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks as always for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. All right.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot, Anna.
Bye.
And then there were two.
Indeed.
I know. But that's all right. It's technically there's 27 of us because there's me, you, and your spiders.
Yeah, well, there's about 50 spiders, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I even underestimated the number. One other thing I wanted to talk about, which actually isn't on my list, but I'm going to give it a quick mention. Because you know what? I watched it all, and actually I quite enjoyed it. So not wanting to be an echo chamber, because a lot of people dismissed this show. I believe it is going to get another season, which is good because it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger. Hang on. Let me, there it is. So we talked about this when it was first dropping, and most people were quite dismissive of it because of the historical bollocks factor. Now, let me just say, if a show has a certain tone and it's not pretending to be history, I don't mind, because let's face it, Braveheart is a very, very enjoyable movie. I watch it at least once a year. I watched it a few weeks ago. It's absolute historical bollocks. You could write a whole set of journals about the historical inaccuracy of Braveheart.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely, like The Patriot. It's just
like The Patriot, but they're fun, entertaining films. Unfortunately, some people believe all of that history is true. The same could be said of Spartacus, House of Asher, which starts on quite a dodgy premise, which I didn't like, which is the character of Asher is resurrected from the underworld to see how he would fare in his timeline. The second thing that people didn't like was we now have a female protagonist as a gladiator.
She's a gladiator, isn't she? Yeah.
She is. All right. So let's put those things to one side at the minute. Does she start off as a cool warrior, all powerful, etc., against the men? No. So this is a 10-episode season. and I can tell you now, she gets the shit kicked out of her a lot. Like, she gets defeated, she gets the shit kicked out of her, she's nearly killed a couple of times. She gets the crap beaten out of her. So she does have an arc. It's not girl boss, I'm great, here's a woman in the arena, I'm going to kick the shit out of all the opponents that I meet. And because she's a woman, they don't let her fight proper opponents. She's put up against things like dwarves and stuff like this. And there's a trio of little people characters, but they're called dwarves in the show, who are a sort of a trio of entertaining gladiators who are put up against people that are not deemed to be very good. So just by virtue of the fact that she has to fight them, she's being ridiculed. And they're quite formidable as well. So, but I actually really enjoyed this because I like this world. I like the style. I like the 300 style narrative. It is all a lot of green screen, and it is that very hyper stylized comic book look.
Right. Yeah. So it's like a volume basically everywhere.
A lot of that. Yeah. I don't think this is filmed in a volume, but it's that sort of look. It's got the volume look. But I don't think that matters because it's kept it consistent. It's not like they've done this season and tried to make it look like a movie. They've kept it with the minimum sets. You can tell everything's shot interior. There's almost no exterior filming this at all. But what this show does well is it's got good quality writing. Stephen E. Knight, who I think is the main guy behind this show, but I don't think I know. He directs most of them. The guy knows what he's doing, and he always gets good characters in. Graham McTavish, who's in this, sort of playing the Doctore role, is a really good actor. A lot of the sort of gladiator sidekick actors are good. It's got everything you would expect from a Spartacus show. It's full of sex and nudity, and it not so sparingly. There's lots of big soft wieners flopping about everywhere. So I mean, it does all the stuff that it did before Game of Thrones even came out. If you remember when the original show debuted, this is one of the little people characters played by Lee Gill, and he does a superb job. Really, really quite good. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it in the end. I sort of stuck with it. And by episode 4, I was like, oh, you know what? They have not made this woman a superwoman. She's not that great yet. And they put her through a lot of pain. And that's what you want to see. It's the hero's journey, isn't it? The hero's got to go through a lot of pain before they can be strong enough to slay the dragon. And she only gains a victory really at the end of the first season, really. So.
The concept of representation does not necessarily make something woke just because there is representation, unless that representation is egregiously out of character. Say, for example, like the recent depictions of Victorian London we've seen, then it doesn't necessarily make something woke in the slightest. It's what happens to those characters, how they're portrayed, and how the comparison between those and the other characters comes across on screen. Put simply, is there an agenda? Is there an agenda to always make the white guy the bad guy? Is there an agenda to always make, the rich person the arse? Are these the capitalist feminist agendas that make something woke? Just putting representation in something doesn't make something woke, because at the end of the day, these people do exist. The ratios of those representations can sometimes be out of whack, and that's a thing. But, that's not my... just people being there is not my determination for something is woke. I don't think you can just look at something and say, right, that's woke because it's got a black person in it, or because it's got a gay person in it.
Well, I'm pleased to report that I didn't feel this was making any kind of statement about. We already have in the previous shows, all the leaders of Rome are all pious old white men. Most of them quite self-important. There are a couple of noble characters in this, but they all look down on Nick Tarabay's character, the Syrian, as they would, because Syrians to Romans are like a lesser form of life. They're not quite as bad as the way the Jews were treated by the Nazis, but they were still treated as commoners as basically slaves.
Which is what you would expect to see. So if there is a racism narrative in there, that's going to make sense, and you're going to be like, yeah, okay, that's exactly how it was.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily make something,
No, he's really mistreated by everybody, which is good. And he's also
not for him, but yeah,
he's an anti-hero. He's not a good person. He's had some good qualities, but he's not a good person. There's quite a nice arc with him falling in love with this character. I have to say that the actresses in this, including the ones who get their kit off, which is quite a lot of the cast, they're all really good. They're all really strong actors. The two ladies in this sequence, Claudia Black and India Shaw-Smith.
Holy shit, Claudia Black.
Yeah, Claudia Black is like Australia's answer to Helen Mirren.
Yeah,
she's a really good. You can tell she's done a lot of stage. She's a really good sort of Shakespearean style, and I like the dialogue in this. You either like the dialogue in this show, or you don't, and it's written. It always was from Spartacus season 1. It was written in that kind of Shakespearean tone, gratitude instead of saying thanks very much. And
which I love. I hate when you've got, I mean, like, again, going back to Starfleet Academy, where they're all going, bro, dude, right.
Oh yeah, exactly. I like that this show has got it's got a very distinct tone. The way that the acting, everybody in this show embraces what it is. It's very violent. It's very graphic. It's got a lot of sex. There's a lot of nudity. Everyone's up for it. Women get their kid off, men get their dicks out, etc., etc.
Compelling characters, because I mean that's one of the main things. That's why Game of Thrones was so strong. You had strong women all over the place in Game of Thrones. I thought it was very well done. But if it hasn't got those compelling characters, I'm not going to buy into it. So if
I think it has. I mean, I think too many of the characters are bad. We've only got a couple of good guys, and we don't. They're not saying that the female gladiator and she's not the lead. She's you can put her on the poster and say she's kind of the Spartacus of the show, but she's not. She doesn't get as much screen time as you would think. The character on the left and the character on the right in this shot, these two guys are father and son.
Okay,
and their relationship and their story very much dominates season 1. He eventually becomes the lover of is she called Alicia, or I forget her name now. That's terrible memory on my part. But and this is the family who end up sponsoring Asher's house and enabling his status to rise slightly. And again, all great actors. Good dialogue, good script. It had a really shaky premise. You put a show on where you've got a character that we all know already got killed, and you've got a black female lead on the poster and most of your publicity material dressed up as a gladiator. That's naturally going to get a very negative response because it just strikes as a money grab.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. That anti-marketing. I was speaking about this.
Yeah, it wasn't great marketing. Put that aside, because you remember there was at one point there was a script knocking around for Gladiator 2, which was about him in hell and coming back from hell and
fighting his way from Hades.
This isn't that far off that. It's not. This is like an alternative timeline.
Somebody took that script and went, "Great idea! I can use that."
Well, it's an alternative timeline that his character gets to live as a punishment, actually, and he gets sent back from hell as a punishment to live this timeline, and he wakes up thinking everything else that he remembers is a dream. And interestingly enough, I've had dreams which have been extremely vivid and have gone on for a very long time. I wrote about this in my last book, where I felt like I was living in another timeline. And when I woke up, because I'd come out of a dream that had gone on for like weeks and weeks, I was really disorientated. I was like, where the fuck am I? What's happening? Oh, that was all a dream? Wait, that was all a dream? And it was, not just like 20 minutes. Felt
so
like
it's got a metaphysical bent to it then, where it's all sort of imagined.
I mean, that's up to you how you sort of interpret that first episode. I think the first episode is a bit shaky because it asks a lot of the audience.
Right.
I think if you watch it till episode 4, if you liked the original shows, I think there's enough in it for you to want to watch the rest, because I think it's well done.
Cool. How much of it is there? Like 8 episodes or something?
10 episodes. 10 episodes. And it was good because it didn't feel rushed. It needed 10 episodes because she needed to go through pain. She needed to find the weapon that suited her. For example, she ends up fighting with the spear, which is nice because we didn't see that a lot in the other show.
I mean, she's fighting against dudes here, and we know that didn't happen. So is that a special circumstance?
No. That's training.
Just training, right? Okay,
She actually doesn't fight against men. Her opponents are either opponents set up to ridicule her, like the trio of little people, or she fights against female warriors. Okay. So she is predominantly, and Darth Plato might be right. I think this might go into the story about the second slave revolt, leading sort of into the fall of Rome, which of course was also caused by the downfall of the Republic on so many levels. But I'll tell you now, I enjoyed this show way more than watching Gladiator 2.
That's a low bar, but yeah.
Gladiator 2 was quite a painful experience.
Like I said, I nearly lost my shit when I saw Maximus's quote above his armor written in English.
Right.
What? Why isn't that in Latin?
I mean,
such an anachronism, you know.
Darth Plato clearly didn't enjoy it. I don't know if he's watched the whole thing. I'd be curious to know if there's anyone in chat who did enjoy it. If you did, let me know your rating out of 10. I'd give this show, I'd give it a higher rating if it wasn't for the shaky premise, which you still have to buy into a lot of bullshit with this alternative timeline, resurrection from hell, etc. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It's an 8 out of 10 for me because I love the first season of Spartacus, season 1 of Spartacus with Andy Whitfield, which, by the way,
a shame.
My detailed discussion of that is one of my highest viewed videos on YouTube. It's like 30,000 or something, 40,000. And I liked it. Darth didn't hate it, but he said it wasn't very good in his opinion. But as we know, that doesn't count, so we're going to delete that comment.
How was it received? I mean, I didn't really see it making much of a splash or anything like that, you know.
No, I think people rejected it as a concept from the beginning, and it was probably just diehards like me. And do you know what? I wasn't like, oh, I've got to watch this. I kind of forgot about it. Then I realised it was out. I watched the first ep and I thought, okay, not great. And then, I had a bit of time to kill one day. I think I'd seen the first 2. And by that time, episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 were out. And this is a show that's much better watched all in one go.
Right,
and
binge it,
I watched those 4 episodes and I was like, actually, this is pretty good. I'm liking this, because any show that makes me want to watch the next episode immediately is doing something right. And I think if it had all been about her and she was a superwoman and she'd been shit hot from the word go, I would have hated this. I wouldn't have watched it past the halfway mark. That's not the case. She's not a superwoman. She's very infallible. She gets the shit kicked out of her. Even in the fights that she wins, she gets the shit kicked out of her. But oh my God, does she do the one person that she beats? The death scene is, you got to see it to believe it. Oh man. So yeah, it's, I think it's worth your time, especially if you like the original shows. Because the original show also had a very slow start. That is true. Al, what else have you got that you want to recommend this week? Let me hand over to you, because I don't think you've got to do it.
God. I do apologise in advance, but I've found another anime series to watch and enjoy.
And you're also enduring Starfleet Academy.
Yeah,
I don't want to spend any time on, but have you found anything about it that has redeemed it in any way?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right.
Unredeemable. I'm waiting. This next episode on Thursday has the cadets teaming up on a away mission on a spaceship. So it's going to be less school and more, hopefully, of the Star Trek stuff. But I don't think it can be salvaged. We're halfway through the season. I hate all the characters. It basically does a load of nonsensical millennial humor and dialogue and parlances, and then throws a little bit of feelings in and says it's Star Trek, and that's not how it works. So I will continue reviewing it because my videos are doing quite well. My last one went 2K,
well good,
2K
good.
reviews, I think. So. And I've picked up a fair few subs from this, so I'm getting rewarded for my pain. But yeah, God, it's horrific.
Well, that's good. I mean, I can't watch any more of it. I gave it.
No, I wouldn't be watching it. I mean, every time I release a video, I'm like, I want this to not do well, so I've got an excuse to not do anymore. People keep watching them.
I gave it a go, but I'm just there's a lot of stuff to watch out there. There's a lot of stuff to watch.
Yeah, and that's it. In this pressed and very loaded environment we're in now with entertainment, why would you make the time for? And these episodes are an hour long. They're not 45 minutes. It's not like adverts space. They're an hour long, and they achieve less.
They've got more time with their narrative, and they're achieving nothing of the dynamics of House of the Seven Kingdoms, which has got a fraction of the budget and a fraction of the run.
Yeah, exactly that. So I will continue reviewing it, but it ain't going to get any better. It's a write-off. I'm just hoping it does signal the end of Kurtzman Trek. In all honesty,
give me the name of your. That's right. Give me the name of your anime show that you.
It is called Dr. Stone.
That's interesting because my Danish name, as you might know, is Steen. Steen is the Danish word for stone. So technically, it is, yeah. So technically, you could say that it's Dr. Steen.
Guess what? Alan is the Celtic name for stone.
We must be related. No,
technically, my name means defender of rock.
Defender of rock. I like that. Okay. I think mine means rock that rolls downhill in strange directions.
Ward being defender, to defend, and then Alan being stone or rock in Celtic. So there you go. You found a thing out.
Indeed. So
Dr. Stone, the idea is that basically what's happened is the entire world, all of the people have been turned to stone statues. Okay. Every single one on the planet.
So it's a very short show. It's just like a panning sort of thing of lots of statues, and then we end it.
No. After 3,700 years.
Is there someone who's an exception to the rule that maybe hasn't been?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What happens is after 3,700 years, a guy manages to free himself from the stone, and we find out why as time goes on. And he basically has to rebuild civilization.
Right.
Thankfully, he's a genius scientist, chemist, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, when you play those survival PC games and it's like, I need to make this. So I need this ingredient and this ingredient.
I've seen people playing those games. I have no interest in playing a game where I've got to go hunting for a tomato and a rabbit.
It's like that, but the anime series. But what I really like about it is it really explains all of the science behind it. And we don't have anything like that in the UK. So they'll explain what mixing, nitric acid with, I don't know, salt or whatever does.
Do they explain the science behind this woman's top and how it keeps her warm?
No, that's just Japan. That's just Japan, I'm afraid. And that's one of the reasons why I love Japan. Big-breasted ladies everywhere. But it's actually really quite compelling. So what happens is one of the guys who wakes up has got a different idea how he wants society to be run, and basically he wants to not bring back any of the older people. He's like, they destroyed the earth, so they're at loggerheads, so they all go to war, and it's like, who can develop fastest and all that kind of stuff. It's got the usual thing where you've got a mix of decent characters, and it was a lot of fun.
And this is a series,
3 seasons, which I've watched all of.
How many?
Yep.
What's the running time per episode of?
Half hour. But there's 26 episodes per season. It's a proper anime series.
Okay.
But you can just binge the crap out of it because it's half hour, and that's including the intro and outro, so you can just skip those. And it's just a lot of fun. All these characters have different traits and stuff like that. And then you find out that there was at the time that the Earth was affected by the green ray and everybody turned to stone, there was this spaceship or a space station in orbit that wasn't affected, and the descendants of that have settled on another island somewhere. So you get all these dynamics, and I just really, really enjoyed it, and I love the science part of it. Like, you want to know exactly how a refrigerator works? This will tell you. It's later in the series because obviously it's advanced tech.
I love the way that there's a warning at the front that says, the foraging tactics used in this should not be imitated except by professionals or whatever. I'd be interested. Is this like some sort of Roger Rabbit shot going on here? Kind of.
I don't actually remember. You know what? I don't remember that shot, if I'm being completely honest.
Maybe that was when one of your spiders crawled across your head.
Possibly, but I don't remember that. But this is, what he does is he does that great thing where you've got a bad guy, and it'll be like, this guy's the bad guy, this guy's the bad guy, this guy's the bad guy. And then just right as it gets towards the end, it'll be like, and here's all his backstory, and now you like the bad guy.
That's interesting. I quite like that idea. Why is this guy puking up rainbow stuff? What's happening there?
That's Gen. He's like a smooth talking magician who negotiates between the two teams. There's a lot of mixed loyalties. There's like, is he on this side? Is he on that side? Who's he playing? All that kind of stuff. I don't remember why he's puking glitter. But it's not the same reason as in Star Trek Academy, so that's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, this series is full of all the things that Japanese anime is full of. Bonkers characters, hot women jumping about and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's weird. But underneath it all, I really like this core story going on. And that's the genius scientist dude. The guy with the green hair. And he's like a 18-year-old or something like that. And he's like a science whiz. So he's all the as they build from basic chemicals to stone to making fire to then making electricity all the way through, it gives you the steps and the science. It's very compelling actually.
And you've got white Mr. T on the right here.
One thing I will say about this show is there's no racial diversity in it at all.
Well, all of the characters appear to be Japanese because they're in.
I mean, it is set in Japan, so obviously you've got a homogeneous society there anyway. And even where they've gone to, there's islands off of Japan. But now that I've got to the end of the third season, they need to go further around the world. So maybe we'll see something get introduced next. But basically, what it's doing is there's one season left, and it's split up into 3 parts. So
I like the way this lady is wearing 2 cowboy hats on her feet for reasons that I'm sure will be explained in the show.
But of course,
indeed. I'm quite. Is this on Netflix?
It's all on Netflix. Yeah, I binged the whole thing over the course of about a week. There's quite a lot of sport shots, but without context, it won't worry about it.
There's tons of anime that's dropped on Netflix in the last week.
There is, yeah.
I saw. You're scrolling through they do the new releases section. And, there's always a couple of crime documentaries. There might be 1 or 2 new films. There's some older films, like I'm watching Heartburn at the minute with Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep, which actually was on at the cinema in 85, I think it was released. And it was one of the few films that I didn't go and see. I have seen it before, but I've never really sat down and watched it properly. And it's got all these great actresses in it and actors of that. Catherine O'Hara's in it, who just passed away.
Okay.
And it's actually really good fun. It's got Richard Mazur, who's another character actor that I absolutely love. So I've been watching that. It's the thing I'm sticking on before I go to bed. So I'm sleeping pretty quickly at the moment. So I'm watching like 20 minutes of it per night, instead of binging. I mean,
not all animes for me. Some of it I find far too cutesy. Some of it's just too stupid. Some of it is just a bit too out there and perverse for me.
But this one passed muster.
It did. I wasn't too sure about it at first. Thanks, Kira. I wasn't too sure about it at first, but it definitely grew on me. And I was like, by the time I got to the end of the first season, I was like, yeah, I like this. I like this quite a lot.
Hang on, are you holding a snake?
Yeah, this is Kira. She's being naughty and slithering all over the bloody
Hang
place.
on, we need to maximize image. Oh, look at this. What's going on? Damn. Is that a California king?
No, this is a carpet pipe, an Australian.
Oh my God.
This is Kira, and she was being naughty.
That poisonous?
No.
Okay. It can bite you though, right?
Sorry, second.
She can bite you though, right?
Oh yeah, she can bite. I've been bitten by this snake. It's fine.
Right.
It hurts for a little bit, and then she realizes what she's done, and she's let it go. She goes, "You're not food. It's okay."
Yeah.
Okay?
I can't swallow you. You're too big.
No, she can't. No.
I don't like eating beards. Aaron says, "How many sheep does she eat?" Indeed.
As you can see,
Anna approves. Text while she's no doubt.
Snakes don't tend to behave; they tend to do what the hell they feel like, which is why I picked this one up.
I'm keen to watch one of these shows that you've recommended a few animes over the last couple of weeks. I just, when I go to bed, which is when I tend to look at the Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
I'm never really in the mood for an animation. I'm always in the mood for like a crime documentary or you know, something that's a bit easygoing. I when they had it, they haven't got it anymore. But Netflix had the entire show Friends, and I think I talked about it on this show a couple of times. Rewatching it, you know, made me realise how good a show it was, especially compared to some of the quality stuff we get today.
Yeah.
I was binging it, and they suddenly announced on the 28th of December it's finished, and I was like, "Fuck! I've still got a season to go." You know,
that's what Kirsty's been doing. She was watching. Oh God, she was watching like the Vampire Diaries or something.
Right.
Not something I'd ever watch, but she had to watch it by a certain time because it was going to be taken off or something. I was just like, "Yeah, carry on."
Yeah,
that woman can binge TV like you wouldn't believe.
What would you give this? I would believe it. What would you give this out of 10?
Overall, I would give it an 8. I mean, it would have been lower at the start of Kira. It would have been lower at the start of the series, but as it develops on, I really started to like it. You start to find out who the characters are, what the motivations are, all that kind of stuff. There's still a couple of zany Japanese style characters that maybe the show could do without, but I really like the science angle of it. I think it's really compelling.
Good stuff.
I'm looking forward to seeing the end of it. It's been shown in Japan, the first 2 parts, I think, in cinemas or whatever, but we haven't got the last part, and I need to wait for it to be.
So in Japan, is it being showed as a feature film rather than a series, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, being split up into 3 parts, each part would be 2.5, 3 hours long, so maybe.
So
I don't know. They do tend to do quite a lot of theatrical releases in.
What's the running time? What's the running time of this per episode?
25 minutes.
Okay, got you. And there's 2 seasons out, and a third season's coming out now. Is that right?
Yes, you've got 3 seasons now to watch on Netflix, and then the 4th season is the one that's been split up into 3 parts. See you, Anna. Oh, this snake, she's so willful.
YouTuber killed by python. News at 11. Let's hope not. Okay.
She's strong. She's very strong.
Well, that's great stuff. I just want to make sure we're almost at the end of the show. We've gone over slightly. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. So let me just double check here.
I don't think there was anything we meant to talk about.
No, I think I've covered everything on the scrolling credits. I added a couple as we went on. I didn't have this one.
Starfleet Academy still shit.
Yeah, we covered Steel. The end of Fallout. I mean, we had the final Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
We can talk about that for a little bit.
Sure.
I mean, people have been quite divided on the show. I think my overall take on it, and I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10 for this season overall, is that when the show is set in the here and now, as in our characters are wandering around the wastelands, you know, following through the plot threads of where they've got to go and why they've got to go there, and you know, killing death claws and things like that. That's where the show is at its strongest. When it flashes back into the past, Too much time spent on that. We don't. I can see why we need it, but we if that stuff was just condensed really small and maybe and also not in every episode, that would make for a much better show. I don't like the fact that time jumps all over the place, because you're just getting to a good bit and then you lose the momentum, you lose the emotional impact, and you kind of turn off. Because if it's going to cut to the storyline in the bunker, where you've got the whole plot with the snack thing going on with the social club, that's just all filler. It's just bollocks. It really added nothing to that season whatsoever, apart from it showed that they had a weak overlord controlling.
I agree. I mean, the Ghoul and Lucy storyline, I'm quite gripped by. I'm like, yeah, that's just cool. I like the Ghoul's motivation to try and find his family, and
he's great. I mean,
I don't think I could watch a show about Walton Goggins, I'll be honest.
No,
he's doing so much heavy lifting. But everything else I just don't care about, and I kind of feel like they've gone too early. I would have liked to hold. This is a bit like the Mandalorian for me. So with the Mandalorian, I would have preferred it. Let me just put the pop filter back up after Kieran knocks it flying. With the Mandalorian, I would have preferred it if we'd had a whole season of Mando just going around doing bounties. Before we even thought about Baby Yoda and any of that nonsense, we tied him down to being, space dad. I would have liked to have just seen a whole season, or most of a season, of him just going around doing bounties, doing his thing. In the same way, I would have liked just a whole season of these two wandering the wasteland and encountering various people, rather than what they did, which was immediately split the narrative into 3 different areas. So you've got them two, you've got what's going on in the vaults, and you've got what's going on with the Brotherhood of Steel. And then after a while, even those then split up into sub-narratives. And it just got all a bit too much for me. And in this season in particular, I was really noticing that it was doing the hopping thing where I was like, look, these are the people I want to know what's going on. And now you're going to show me all this other stuff before we get back. And I'm like, is season 2 too early to introduce Mr. House and all that kind of stuff? We could have had that in season 3, all the Fallout New Vegas
or
malarkey
towards the end, maybe. I mean,
like hint towards it. I don't like mystery boxes, but you could do some clever setting up. It was just straight in there. And I'm in full agreement with you. I don't need to know how the nukes fell or why they fell. I don't need all that back in timey stuff. That doesn't have him.
I mean, I get that he's looking for his wife. I think a couple of flashback scenes, establishing their relationship. I like the way that he took the fall for her. That's kind of interesting. But there's a lot of padding there that we didn't need. I mean, although kudos to both our man from The Shield. You just said his name, Shane. He played the character of Shane in The Shield. Walton Goggins. Kudos to Walton Goggins. Kudos to the actress who plays his wife. They do a great job. I'm just that storyline, the Overseer storyline with Vault, whatever it was. I like the other storyline with the Vault, with the guy who he's trying to work out how to get out, and he wakes up all the other people, and then so that together as a team they can work. And then he pretends he was the leader, and ultimately they find out he wasn't, and then they try and trap him in with those.
And they'll get cockroached.
And they get. I liked that. I thought all of that narrative that really worked for me. That storyline was great. I didn't need the other storyline with
you got the one with the one-eyed woman who's from Canada.
One-eyed,
and I'm like,
all of that stuff with the one-eyed woman. I didn't really give a fuck about any of that stuff.
There's quite a lot of girl bosses in the show. Most of the faction ended up by a woman, and I'm like,
the black female overseers. Her character is weak, as in she's a weak person. So not all the girl characters were amazing and whatever.
I would have thought somebody would have deposed her by now. But then the head of the NCR, like the New California Republic, is also a lady. You've got the girl boss overseer of the Vault. Both of the Vaults have got girl boss overseers. So,
but the Romans have got Macaulay Culkin. So there we are.
Just about, yeah.
I quite like the fact he becomes seasoned. But one thing the show has got right is the production design on this show is the bollocks.
Yeah, absolute chef's kiss. Really, really cool.
All the
I
stuff.
tell you what, I was really impressed by the death claws. They were a bit weak against the suit, I thought.
Yeah, because it took. You remember when there was one weapon that could take them out in the game, which was like that really powerful Gauss rifle thing, but you had to have it like souped up to the nines, and even then you had to hit them with a few rounds of it. That was the one weapon that could take them out. That was in that damaged, downed chopper that was protected by all those robots. I don't know if you remember that, because I played that. I would love to play Fallout Vegas, New Vegas, or whatever it's called. I'd love to play that through again.
Yeah, I love New Vegas. I mean, you can get it on Steam easily enough. It's cheap too, but it's the old version of the game. There's apparently a remaster coming. Whether or not we get it, I don't know.
Okay, so it's just the old game.
But I loved Vegas. There was so much story in the game.
It was great. It was a really fun game. But let's give a shout out to the production designer and art director on this.
I think the show looks brilliant.
It's amazing. Done an amazing job on it. Absolutely amazing.
The problems with it, narrative, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of different directors, and it's funny because they put these down as these directors for various episodes, but I bet they probably did a storyline each.
Which would make sense because you've got all the narrative, the different storylines on there. How many producers has it got?
7 directors work on the Snack Club storyline? Do you know what I mean?
It went nowhere, did it? It was, and this is one of the problems that I see with Dead Gamers is like it's all done too quickly and too goofy. There is a lot of goofy stuff in there, and there is humor in the Fallout universe. We all know this. It's a very bleak humor.
Look at the number of producers on this show. Oh my God.
I knew it.
That's a lot.
I knew it. Yeah. Starfleet Academy's got 21 executive producers.
This is over, what's this, nearly 40 probably.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
That's a lot of producers. Each wanting their say. I like the music. Ramin Djawadi's done a great job.
He's great, yeah. I've loved him ever since Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's a great soundtrack. Love that rock soundtrack when the robots first launched.
Yeah,
very
so
underrated.
Good. He did that with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine.
So makes perfect sense. So Howard Cummings is the production designer. You've got 5 different art directors on it. So I don't know if there was a lead art director necessarily.
Got a supervising art director, David Lazen. I don't know what he would.
There's 3 supervising art directors.
Oh God, so there is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're the top level, but and it looks like 2 on the second season. No, 2 on the first season. And then
makes sense because you've got a lot of different environments. You've got the wasteland, you've got the
different people would be responsible for different aspects of it. Let's have a look at Howard Cummings, who's responsible for all of them. So there he is, born in California. I'm just curious to see what else he's done. So Behind the Candelabra, that was Westworld. That does not surprise me that he did Westworld, 18 episodes. A show that was so good that went down such a shit path.
Oh man, the first season of that was amazing, and then it just literally fell off a cliff.
That's a great film. Not one that would be very popular after COVID, but that basically is the COVID movie.
It's the COVID story. I watched that one, yeah.
But it's not. I mean, it's not the story of COVID. This came out in 2011, but it's.
Oh, okay. I must be thinking. What's the one? They did do one that was post-COVID.
They've done a couple. Yeah, they've done a couple, but there's been a couple of mini-series and various things. But no, this is Contagion. This is what would happen if a super flu virus, which could happen easily.
Oh no, that is Mark Wahlberg. So that is the one I'm thinking of. It just wasn't based around COVID. Okay.
No, it was a super flu that came from a bat.
Matt Damon, sorry, not what. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, and it's very well. Matt Damon. It's very well done. It's a really well done show. You don't know who's going to survive and who isn't, and it's really really clever. I liked it, but it's hardcore. It's pretty grim, but it's a great show. So I mean, he's worked on some pretty good stuff. He did the first Magic Mike, I think. He's done quite a few independent movies as well, like Death to Smoochie and Ghost Town. I always like to see what people did right early on.
Double Jeopardy, I remember that one.
I do indeed. So it looks like his first thing as a production designer was Girls' Night Out in 19.
I've not seen it.
I don't think I have either. I'm not sure. The first one of his that I might have seen might have been Signs of Life. Yeah, Beau Bridges and Vincent D'Onofrio. This is a kind of it's a small town drama about a family living in the sort of upstate New York area. If I remember rightly, I could be wrong about that.
I think he said Maine, so yeah, around there.
Maine, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Maine. But I saw another title that I wanted to check if it was the film I remembered, which was Mortal Thoughts. I think was Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, and it's this really grim. Yeah, there you go. Demi Moore, Bruce Willis, Glenn Headley, who's sadly no longer with us. It's a really grim sort of movie about a woman pushed to the limit in an abusive relationship, and Willis really wanted to do a very different character after Die Hard. And I was in America at the time, and I just got off my flight, and I had about a 3-hour wait until my National Express coach. So not National Express, Greyhound bus, because it's America, it's not the UK. And this was the only movie that I could fit into that window. It was just about to start. And I was so worried about missing the coach that I left before the final 20 minutes. But it's really grim and depressing. And he basically plays a wife beater, and ultimately she's like pushed to kill him. But Demi Moore and Glenn Headley are really good in it. But in some ways, it's kind of a little overlooked gem, I suppose.
So were they married at this time then?
Yeah, I think they were. I think they just got together, and this was kind of their pet project because it was a very serious actors movie. It was both doing kind of very serious roles, and Willis playing.
It's a very strange way to do the font, actually, isn't it? It's all lowercase, and it's not really doing anything. It's very subdued.
Listen, it's a subdued movie. Trust me on that. Not a great date night film. That's for it to put everyone in a jolly mood.
You ran out of the cinema, and I have no idea why.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay. Well. So, yeah. Overall fallout. 6 out of 10. But I give the storylines I like in it. If you cut the waffle out, it would be an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Lance. If it was all about Lucy and the Ghoul and all that, basically any time those two are on screen, it just elevates itself, and then the other stuff goes on. And Maximus is an okay character, but the rest of the there was some stuff going on with the Brotherhood of Steel where they were like fighting over the cold fusion. I just didn't care. And I was like, that's just a massive waste of budget, because that helicarrier thing you've got to make, that's going to cost loads. And all these flying vertibirds and stuff you've got to make, they're going to cost loads. You could have given us this nice, expansive, and it would have felt like Fallout, where you're exploring across the wasteland and discovering new things. And I think they missed a trick there. But, they're doing what they're doing.
Before we go, on my Facebook timeline, I often get sent things for stuff to do with World War II, because I'm a big history buff, as you know, especially World War II. And there's a poster for a film called The Battle of Lake Chagrin with Daniel Craig that's just come up.
Daniel Craig, okay.
Apparently so. I'm curious to see the trailer for this. Now, I'm seeing a film with a similar title, but this is a different movie. No, this is an Asian cinema film, so it's not this one. Let me go on to Daniel Craig's, because if there's a trailer for it, I think we'll round out the show by watching the trailer before we go. So let me see if it's on his. No, his credits only go up to 2025, unless I've been duped and this is an AI poster. I'm gonna.
There are a lot of those around. And the thing is, like, so many people...
I know. There's so much now. You have to be pretty careful. Let me grab this.
Not on IMDb. It's not real as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think I might have spelt it wrong. So I'm going to share the poster with everybody. Let's see if we can find a trailer for it, because if there's a poster out, there's a trailer out normally. So hold on a second, people. And Joseph Quinn is also in it, whoever he is. Not too sure I know him. But I think it might be like maybe the war in Finland or something like that. And we talked about one of those. So there you go.
Okay.
The Battle at Lake Changjin. Yeah. You'd think Lake Changjin, that would be in China, wouldn't it?
It does. It sounds Asian, doesn't it?
So could it be? That's right. Now, the Chinese, when they were fighting the Japanese, some of them, I forget which side. One side got supplied some German kit, and they actually had like German helmets, a bit like the guy on the right.
It's North Korea allied China, or Chinese People's Volunteers Army, versus America.
Is it?
There is a film. So the original was out in 2021.
That's the Asian
remake.
Is it? Right. Okay.
Let's have a look.
Unusual
2026. With Joseph Quinn and
yeah, because I can find an IMDb for the 2021 version.
Yeah, I think it might be a fake. I mean, it's an interesting fake to make, in my opinion, but
why would someone make a fake of that? That's a really weird. Is there anything on just like Google about the film?
Right. Okay, so
yeah, this is the original.
It looks to be largely AI based. It may be that it's in early talks, but there's no official information about it at all. But it is a very odd one to make an AI trailer for.
This film takes the viewers to the harsh, unforgiving battlefield where two brave brothers unite as soldiers and mish half with a blah, 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 blah. So someone's posted this. It's monumental. Right. Okay. I want to look at the comments underneath and see if there's a clue to this. So that's the original movie there. Actually looks quite good.
There's two of them. There's a sequel as well in 2022.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see that. That looks quite good.
But I don't see anything about a 2026.
Yeah, right. Okay. So all of the comments underneath this all basically say AI garbage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's one of those ones where it's hard to find out. I mean, I've seen some that are so obviously AI that you're just like, ugh.
I wonder if this is created by the actor Joseph Quinn.
It's
I haven't heard of him, and I'm wondering if he's. Hey, I'm going to create me starring with Daniel Craig.
But it's such a weird film to pick.
That's what I was saying. It's like it's a really odd choice, isn't it? An actor Joseph Quinn. I've got him here.
That's so weird. I saw a Hellboy 3 one the other day, and that was so obviously AI as well.
He was Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four: The First Steps. He was in Warfare.
He was Eddie in Stranger Things season 4.
That's right, Eddie Munson. Oh my God, yeah. God, yeah, with that his long hair, you don't recognise him, do you?
Nope. He was also in Gladiator 2, but he probably doesn't want to talk about that.
No, I don't think anybody wants to talk about Gladiator 2. Here's a more recent picture of him in some dashing white attire. There we go. So, all right. Let's have a quick. Yes, I did get my Facebook page back. Thanks, guys. Still got the same one.
With an apology.
I've got it. I did get an apology. I've got an apology off Facebook as well. I did a video about it, tagged a load of Facebook higher ups in the vid, and within a week it was resolved. So there we are. Sometimes, the pen is mightier than the sword, as they say. Critic Owl, what you got coming up?
Well, I may have just reviewed Mauler's new film. That should be going up tomorrow. I'm waiting for somebody to watch it and tell me that it's all okay.
The one that I directed.
What you directed, Lance? Yes.
I'll be keen to see that. Okay, yeah.
So I've sent you a link for the review.
Have you now? Okay,
yes,
I'll watch
I've asked you to have a look at it just to make sure that it's all factually correct, basically.
Yeah. I won't.
It was a while ago, and used a couple of shots from your behind the scenes video, which I recommend everybody checks out because it's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you give that the once over for me, I will stick that out as a review, and people can see that. Other than that, I will be, for all my sins, reviewing Starfleet Academy on Thursday.
Okay. Well, if you want to continue following Critical's flight into hell as he reviewed,
I mean, my last one in particular was me losing my mind in real time. It was horrific.
I mean, I'll say it again. I've said it before. I mean, I'd say this about things on my channel frequently. I wanted the show to actually be good. I was not looking to hate on that show. I wanted it to be good. I actually wanted it to feel like Star Trek. I didn't care that it was a Star Trek 90210. That's fine as long as it felt like Star Trek. But it's just the writing is just so poor. I can't, and it's not the fault of the actors. The actors are, doing the job with what they've been given.
What they can.
They're throwing themselves into it. You can see that, and they're having a good time on the show by the looks of it, because you can tell they're having fun with their roles and everything. The problem is we're not having fun. And I don't agree with any of this rhetoric about it's a show that's not made for us and we should all fuck off and stop moaning. Star Trek has made very different shows over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And even though Voyager was my least favorite, because I don't think it embraced the original concept, which was about two conflicting crews having to work together.
Yeah, exactly. That was, they put the differences aside in no time. And
the differences, it was that concept wasn't really followed through on. So that kind of always undermined that show for me. There was a lot about Voyager I really liked. But I don't think I've ever seen every episode of Voyager. I've probably seen about 78% of it. It's quite a specific number, Lance. There's probably about 6 or 7 shows I haven't seen. I remember when the final season came out, I watched a couple and I jumped ahead and watched the last 2.
Just watch the ending
to see how the show ended. Yeah, so I think by then I wasn't committed to watching it as religiously as that. Deep Space Nine, brilliant show, absolutely love it. Even the weaker episodes of DS9 are still leagues above anything that we're getting here. Of the newer Trek, Summer Picard was okay. It just, everything about the new Trek that we've had, or Kurtzman Trek as a lot of people call it, everything feels very overproduced. Everything feels over stylized. There's too much special effects in my view. I think everything needs to be pulled back to basics.
It's massively style over substance. I mean, I would take all of the styrofoam rocks and wobbly sets and all that kind of stuff in the world if you just brought back the Star Trek, bring back the philosophy.
Good stories and good self-contained 1 hour stories. And there's some ideas in Starfleet Academy. Quite like the idea of the one episode of the guy. The whole thing is kind of like a letter to his parents. I quite like that as a concept.
There's moments, and then somebody goes and does something juvenile, and then it just rips me straight back out of it. And it's so frustrating because there are odd little bits here and there of the new stuff where you can just see it trying to be Star Trek, but it's stopped. I even thought the first season of Strange New Worlds had a couple of moments, but nothing more.
I saw the first view of that. There was a couple that were okay. Enterprise was another show that was hit and miss for me, but I actually liked the overall arcing storyline of the Xindi Time War. Really good. The problem was that was the first show to embrace CGI at a time when it really just started rolling out. Now the effects in Enterprise look really poor.
Not quite as bad as Babylon 5, but they don't look good.
No, I mean, the thing with Babylon 5 is the visual effects are so early that they kind of have a kitsch.
They've got a charm to them,
They've got a kitsch fun value to them. It's the people that came slightly after that, Space Above and Beyond and a couple of other shows. But But Babylon 5 has a lot going for it. Really good actors, really good scripts, an amazing overall arcing storyline, even though Warner Brothers tried to torpedo it several times. But seasons 2 and 3 of Babylon 5 are fucking good. Really
I
good.
think Babylon 5 is a pretty great show. Not all of the standalone stuff. The movies they did, like River of Souls and stuff like that. But most
all
of
that
Babylon
stuff
5 was very good.
Yeah, but I've got the original box sets next door. I've still got them all. One of them's really pale because it got drained in the sun. All the colours gone out of it. What would happen if one of the actors during filming quit? I think they would be applauded once it came out. I see. Well, I think he. I don't know. Does he mean appalled or does he mean applauded?
I think he means appalled because he was saying I recommend Send Help if no one has seen it, which is the
somebody did shout that out. It might have been Dead Gamer who came in from seeing that.
I've heard pretty good stuff. Yeah.
I like the first Star Wars as well. The first Star Wars is awesome, and I was a kid when I saw the first Star Wars. I'm one of the first generation. Yeah, I've heard Send Help is good. I might watch that now, actually. We'll see. Anyway, okay, that's it from the Nielsen ratings today. We will be back next time. Who will be on the panel? I have no idea, but it will be some of the usual. The good thing is I've got about 8 people that are all welcome on a regular basis. Sometimes we might have 3 or 4 of them. Sometimes we might have 6 or 7, which is 4 to 6 is the ideal number. I don't really want to do shows.
I have no idea what happened to everybody today.
10 people. Well, we had 4 people. I knew that the other 2 had to leave early because they had already told me that. But I don't know where the others are. Normally, people tell me that they can't come on. Enzo did warn me, and he did.
Enzo did say he couldn't make it. Yeah,
he did go very late yesterday, so he is forgiven.
Man's a machine.
He is a machine. That's it from us. Thanks, Big Al, and all his spiders coming on. Thanks to everyone else for your comments in the chat and stuff. Really appreciate you. I am back on Monday. Oh, I really forgot. I've got another industry interview. I've just done 3 in a row. It's been great. And if you didn't watch it, do watch the stream that I did with singer Grace Palmer. Oh my God, what an amazing voice. And we played part of her song, which of course YouTube's copyrighted me for, and I've written to them.
Oh, you're kidding? Have they really?
Yeah, they have. And I'm like, the guest is on the show, and she said, I actually said, is it all right if I play this? Do I have your permission?
Yeah.
And she said, yes, you do. Whilst we were transmitting live, and I
was watching,
and they still haven't given it back to me yet. So. But she was great. Oh my God! When I started playing that song, I got chills up my.
All of her accent disappears, doesn't it? Because she's got a very strong Birmingham accent.
She does not. She does not sing with an accent at all. In the slightest. No, she's. But coming on Monday, I've got another female guest. Absolutely lovely. Cracking person. DJ Carly Denham is coming on the channel, so I'm getting all these glamorous ladies, which is always fun. She's a real sweetheart. She's another person who's juggling, a day job with her passion, which is DJing. She's actually I've noticed that she's starting to climb higher and higher and higher. She's very well liked within that world, and she's doing a lot of the day raves and stuff, so she's playing at a couple of things that I'm going to be at, and I'm going to be at Peach and she's going to be at Peach, so hopefully we'll get to meet in person properly there. I've seen her play before, but we've never got to chat, so hopefully we'll get to chat at Peach. Fantastic stuff. So that's going to be on Monday at 8 o'clock. So that's it from us. We'll be back again Monday at 8, Tuesday at 9. I probably won't be doing a Chew the Fat this Sunday, as I'm going to three raves in a row on Saturday. So that's probably going to keep me out of the picture. So until then, we'll speak to you all again real soon.
Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings 2020. evening. We start at 9 UK time. We cover all the genres from sci-fi to true crime. Our super cool panel rates the latest releases along with older cool films like The Wild Geese,